Hey everyone, and welcome to IG at Live Esports. This evening we're live with Rapid Pixel Racing GP1 division, and for a new season with round 1 of 13 races which you're going to do to complete this one off, and it's for the French Grand Prix. So session as we have it is going to be a 30-minute practice session as they usually have it from before, from the previous season. Then we're going to be doing, I think it's a full qualifying, and then getting to our 50% race session. Now during the practice session, I do have Mass Baron here joining on with me from the GP2 division. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, sounds good. So how are you doing this evening? I'm glad to have you on my channel. For the first time I think I'm having you on for in the commentary box with me here.
Yes, first time. No, I'm glad to be here.
Alright, sounds good. So I think we got a good, decent amount of drivers. I think we got 17 in. I think we might have a few drivers joining off by the time we get into the qualifying session, because I know not everyone will be participating in the practice session, but we're still doing a stream on it just to get that going. And we do have the stream live both on the IG at Live Esports channel and the RPR channel as well. I have to add that channel in on mine side, so at least there will be a link on it from here to anyone who wants to get onto that. But yes, if you search Rapid Pixel Race, I think that comes up pretty easily on YouTube as well.
Ooh, I've just managed to switch to the racing point in time to get a nice wee spin out of the corner, but he caught it quite well.
Yeah, we got John here out on track, so definitely everyone's gonna try and get a few laps in just to get a feel back for the track, and just to get to see what their lap times are with the tires, different tires and whatever, to see how I don't know, I guess they're just gonna try it out to see how the tires feel in terms of between the softs and the mediums and the hards, just to see where they're gonna be at in terms of race strategy when they do get onto the qualifying session and such. So they're just gonna want to see what tires is gonna work best for them in terms of starting the race there as well. But should be quite an interesting race. I'm looking forward to see how that race start is going to go. Always a fun race to see how opening lap goes here for the French Grand Prix, because it's a bit of a run getting down to turn 1, but always interesting to see how cars get through. And we do tend to have a lot of contact happening, at least through the first 2 turns on this track, getting through. Sometimes it does cause a safety car, sometimes it's just a VSC, and sometimes it's just a bit of debris on track, and we do have everyone getting through pretty well. But I think we have a set of good drivers. I think there's a few names, probably 1 or 2 names maybe in the list there that I'm not familiar with, but I think they have some new drivers in the league there as well. But really looking forward to, hopefully we have a full grid by the time we get to qualifying, so it should be interesting having the full qualifying session as well to go through that. Let me see how many drivers we do have on track already. So I think we're going to be seeing some interesting lap times as well. I'm not sure how competitive the lap times will be getting though, in terms of it's just being a a practice session. So they're not just focusing on the fastest lap really. They're just basically testing these tires out to see where the cars are at and what the tire wear is like in terms of how many laps they're actually running on it. And that is John getting a bit quickly again with their losing a rear just a bit, but he's got that back. So that's basically what they're talking about. They're just trying the tires to see what's happening on track, how much grip is out there, and just to know where they're going to be at when they do get to qualifying as well, because they're going to make sure actually that they do get through, actually hopefully get through to qualifying 2 and then to qualifying 3 if they do have that chance to make it through there. So they're going to make some pretty fast lap times, of course, to get that done. But we'll see how it works out for them. Quite a few more drivers getting out on track as we have it here right now. And we got John already did a lap here. Hot Soju as well, a 133 from him, and we got a 135 from John. Then we got Chop there, 133.065. Not too bad with the lap times. So they're doing some pretty good times so far, I can say, going out on track. And I think they're probably running these on maybe on mediums. Let me just have a look at what tires currently these guys are running on. Okay, so Chubb actually did that on the hard tires there, so no, doesn't want to really waste out all the tires that he does have. Let me get a track map on so we can have a look at what's happening out on track actually here as well. I won't put telemetry on, I don't think we really need that right now, but just to have an idea what's happening. So most of our guys seems like they're going to be using the hard tires in the practice session if they do decide to actually get out on track and try to get a few laps in. And hey Seb, what's up? Thank you for joining on the chat. Yeah, so I think they're just going to be trying out the tires as much as they can just to get a few laps and just maybe just a bit of minor practice before they actually get started with the qualifying session in just a bit. But just a 30-minute practice session, I think it's going to go through pretty quickly. We're already about 6 minutes down from it, about 24.5 minutes left or so for the practice session before we get off of that. So let's switch on to someone else who's running. And I got Perez went 132.8, so not too bad. We're getting a bit faster on track with the lap times that we have that are coming in here right now. So we'll see how fast these guys are going to get. We got JR on track here as well. Let's see where he's going up to at the moment. So he's running in the Williams, and usually tend to go on board a bit with these guys just to look at the different lines that they take around the track. As we know, most of you would know about the racing lines are usually on track, but we're not able to see that, whether the drivers are using them or not. We won't be able to see them on this angle here, but I think that a lot of drivers tend to turn the racing line off, or some drivers do tend to just keep it on just for the corners, which I usually do, just to get a better sense of where your braking zones are as they get into some of these corners here, because it can be a bit tricky sometimes if you don't have enough practice driving without that racing line on the track. But so far so good, gotta say, with the races that we've been doing on the channel as well. Hey Brad, thank you for joining on the chat. How are you doing? Yep, so it's been quite good with the races we've done for the past few months. I think I'm not sure, it's been maybe close to a year now I've been doing esports streams. I just started off with it just suddenly. Never expected to actually end up doing something like this, but it was a lot of fun. First time I ever did it, so I just continued with it, and just I don't know, it came to this point, and this is what it is right now. The entire channel is now focused around F1 esports. But it's been a lot of fun doing this over the months and months that we've been doing it, and trying to improve the stream quality a bit as well as we continue to go on with it. That's why we did get a new mic set up for the commentary. We're getting a few things set up a bit later on as well. So hopefully we're able to improve the quality of the streams that we do provide out in terms of the races here as well. So yeah, so far looking pretty good on track. We got quite a few lap times in. I got GR now with a 132.5. Got Perez at 132.8. So far it's been pretty good. Let's have a look. Someone else who's running. Got Irez down at the bottom here. I think he's probably running a lap. Let me have a look here right now. And he looks like he invalidated that current lap though. Boca Bronco here. Let's see. He's in a McLaren going around. And have a look at him. See what he's up to at the moment here. Why were you playing Hearts of Iron for 18 hours? Why were you playing a game for 18 hours straight? Jesus Christ, that's crazy. And of course you're gonna be tired, Brad. That was a pretty long time to be doing that. So yeah, we got about half of our grid. Oh, we got more drivers coming in the session as we continue to go on through. So we might have a full grid of 20 by the time we actually get to the qualifying session here. So we got 19 drivers in already, so quite an interesting grid to work with. I think Mr. Dutchface there is probably the only name I'm not too familiar with. Tommy PLR, I'm not sure if I've ever seen that name before. XL Tin Can, probably new to me as well. I'm trying to look, see if anyone else is new. I think the rest of the name, I'm not sure if I've seen Perez before. I feel like I've seen that name somewhere before, but I really can't tell. I do so many different leagues, and there's so many different drivers, so many PSN names. I tend to forget sometimes. Guess depends on how often I do a league stream for a specific league. But yeah, so far it's been good. Haha, funny Brad. You're always on something. Oh, and we got Booker Bronco 138.6. So they have a bit of a range of lap times that they're currently getting on in with. We can see how it ranges based on with the tires that are using as well. And Can Be Touch goes up to the fastest lap there now, 132.398. Pretty good time. Did that on the mediums as well, so really not too bad with the times that we're getting here. Scotty here into the pits. Who else is running? Is he running another lap? He might just be running another lap here right now, so I'm going to just have a look at him. I'm probably trying to have a look at somebody on an onboard view as they go through their hot lap on the track and see what that's going to be like here as well. So guys, let me just adjust this microphone just a bit. Yes, hopefully you guys can hear everything pretty clearly. I'm just making sure I didn't, because Because yesterday I almost sat on my controller, and today I almost ripped the headphones off of the mic. So just I'm trying to be as careful as I can with the setup here right now. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, Erez just went 135.5. Not too bad of a time. So far it's quite a range of lap times we have in this practice session going on. It's been quite interesting. Starting from 131.6 now with James Outlayer. Pretty interesting, a pretty fast time. Did that on the hards there, I think. So let's have a look and see what's happening down at the bottom here. Oh, we got John on another outlap here. I think he was one of the first drivers to get out on track in the practice session there as well. And got Mr. GR Lactus saying Booker Bronco will win the championship on this season here. Are we so sure about that? We'll see how that goes. Let's give him at the end of this race. Or actually, let's give him to the end of qualifying. I want to see him making it over to qualifying 3. And I'll keep a close eye on him and see how he's doing through the season on this one here. But let's see if Mr. Booker Bronco is able to actually stay ahead in the championship and probably can win it. I won't put it past him. I think he can do it. Let's see if he's able to do that on this season that we're going to have here. It's going to be interesting to see if he wins this race or not. And we got XL Tin Can on an outlap here. So basic idea of a practice session, guys. Drivers just usually get a bit of testing done on their car just to see where they're going to be at and just to have an idea what's going to happen during the qualifying session and the race session. Do actually need to get a feel of the track in terms of track condition, track temperature and whatnot to see how much grip they're having out there and how well these tires are working for them, which is why you can see some of these drivers on the hards, some of them are in the mediums. They're just testing out it, see what's going on, how everything is working out, make sure everything is up to specification that it needs to be, and just so that when they do get to qualifying session, they're already just rub it into the track and they can just get out and get a really good hard lap in. And that's what we're hoping for, to see some exciting and competitive lap times by the time we get through to the qualifying session. And should be quite interesting as well to see how close the lap times are going to be in terms of maybe 100 or 1,000th of a second. We'll see how it works. But yep, should be quite interesting as well. Oh, and there is Nightbot once again. I forgot I set that thing up. So yep. So guys, welcome to everyone who's joining on to the stream, whether it's on IG at Live Esports channel or on the RPR channel, which we have the stream live over there as well. Welcome to all of you guys who are joining us on for this race here. First race for the new season for Rapid Pixel Racing GP1 division. And please guys, make sure you like the stream. It does help the channel out a lot when you actually do that. So please guys, make sure you do like the stream. It doesn't take more than a second for you guys to do that. So make sure you guys head over and just click on like. It does help us out. We're following still with XL Tin Can here. And honestly, I still wonder where you guys find these names from. Oh, you're behind NASCAR right now. No problem, no problem. Can here, so he's looking pretty good right now of getting a pretty good lap. We'll see. Currently, where is he right now? I think he's in sector 2, only just going through. So let's see how that's gonna go. And someone else has just joined the session. In 5 hours. Oh, okay, in 5 hours. Do you get any sleep at all? I thought I'm the one that doesn't get any sleep between working and doing this. But you apparently don't get any at all. I don't think you get any. I'm not sure if you sleep at all, Brad. Yeah, guys, so we're still keeping an eye, see what's happening exactly in qualifying. Do excuse me not going too fast with the talking right now. I'm just trying to save that up. Maybe, hopefully, when we get to the qualifying session, going to be a bit faster in there because we're going to see how fast these guys are going to bring some lap times in for us. Remember, it's going to be full qualifying, so it should be quite an exciting session as well to see what exactly is going to be happening. But we'll see how well these guys get on through with that. And that is XL Tin Can going fastest in this session so far with a 130.991, and that's on the mediums. So really not too bad of a time there. Actually quite interesting to see that. We're starting to get right where the competitive lap times are going to be, just under the 130s. So we'll see where it goes though, but interesting so far in the session as we've seen. So we have an idea basically of what our lap times will be looking like when we do get to qualifying. I think they might be a little bit faster than what we currently have here right now, but yep, should be quite interesting as we get over to the qualifying session in just a bit. Got about 15 minutes left in the practice session here, so these guys are going to try and just to get as many laps in as they can. Drinking beer helps me sleep. Okay, I get it. Actually, yeah, I do believe you on that one. It does help. Especially when you're tired, it does help. Actually, it does help you sleep if you're really tired. And let's see who else currently running on track. Oh, Mr. Scotty here running. And yeah, he's see what sort of time he's gonna bring in when he does get this car on a hot lap here. So he's about to get started on a fast lap. We'll see how well he goes driving that AlphaTauri. He was the guy that actually got me involved with both leagues that are now formed on the RPR. We have the GP1 division, GP2 division. GP2 division used to be a separate league for those of you who didn't know that. So Scotty was the one that actually got me streaming for both leagues at the time. And then, because GP2 division was first known as VFL, and then they changed to NHR, and then they did a merge here with Rapid Pixel Racing, and they became GP2 division under here. And then the original league for RPR actually became just GP1, those are the drivers we have racing on track right now. So yep, that's how this league actually became two different divisions for GP1 and GP2 division. And we still keep the days that they actually do run on. We still have the GP1 division, that's the original league, running on the Mondays, and we still have the GP2 division running on the Fridays. Yes, Brad, I did get a new mic. Just to improve the quality of the commentary that usually comes off of the stream. Just wanted to get a better, just a better song of audio, I guess, or better clarity of audio through the stream, so that's why I did that. It still might need a bit of adjusting, but has quite a few settings on it that I tend to adjust sometimes. But it does sound a lot better from what I've heard, from what everyone's been saying so far. It works quite well, so it's a lot of fun to use as well. It has a very nice touch sensor to just mute it off, so quite interesting on that. And yeah, it is a lot clearer, so I'm happy about that, because if it wasn't clear, I was going to return it and send it back and get my money back for it, because it wouldn't have been worth the money if it wasn't any clearer at all, if it didn't give any sort of sound difference. So it wouldn't have made any sense. But yeah, it's a lot clearer. It's a HyperX Quadcast. It's a lot of fun to use, and has that very nice light that tell you that you know that it's on and you can know when it's off, compared to the headset when I don't know when it's on and when it's off sometimes, and I may accidentally actually press buttons and make other things happen, and like the commentary go off for the entire stream, which has happened before. So really don't want to have that happen again. Actually, it's happened twice on me so far. It's happened on two streams. We caught it on the second stream, but not on the first one. So the first one was without the commentary for an entire race session because of that issue. So more so why I decided to actually get a mic as well, because I did plan to get one later on, so I might as well get it from now and just actually get this, just to improve this part of the stream at least. The next idea would be as we improve the quality of the stream, take it over to 1080p on the stream live stream itself, and get a few more things set up on that later on. But for now, it's just for the mic, and yep, glad you guys like it. Glad you enjoy it. It is a lot clearer. It's a lot of fun to use. I think we have, where is Scotty on track? I think he might be finishing his lap pretty soon. So we'll see what sort of lap time he's going to be bringing in here. We still got Carl, we got Tommy, Lasso there was the next driver that joined, and Mr. Dutch Face there, still in the pits. Not sure if they'll be sitting a lap. Of course, it's not required that they participate in the practice session here, but it's available for everyone who wants to join on and probably get a lap in, which is most of the guys getting in on it here already. I think I assume that's probably because it's being streamed, and probably because it is the first race for the new season as well. Everyone wants to get a good practice in, probably get a good qualifying lap in, and just get a good starting position on the grid when we do get to the race start. So I think that's what mostly they're working towards here right now, but we'll see how that goes. But so far, I think it's been quite an interesting practice session. Fastest time still is XL Tin Can there with a 130.991. We'll see how that compares when you get over to the qualifying session. We got Scotty going 133.1 so far. Now the track is going to get a bit more rubber in as we get over to qualifying one in just about 10 minutes time. So it's going to be a bit faster then as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what's going to happen. Let's follow someone else at the moment here. Is Can Be Touched on a lap here. That's Scotty's teammate there. Let's have a look what he's doing. Seems to be flying around the track there right now. So might be on for a pretty good lap there. But let's see how this is going. But so far so good with that. And fun thing about the mic, I can move around without actually moving the mic, and it still sounds the same, which I'm actually doing at this point in time right now. So that's a lot of fun to deal with as well. And guys, give me 1 second. Let me just, I think I'm trying to check something here. I restarted my phone and something changed on it and I have no idea what it is. And now I have to wait. This is annoying. Alright, so let's see what we got. About 9 minutes left in this session here. And Canby just went past Excel Tin Can's time. He entered 130.841. About a 10 faster, but still quite interesting of a time. So let's see how that's going to hold up for him as we get on through with the rest of this practice session here. But so far has been quite interesting to see with the lap times that we have. Quite a range of lap times to work with. But we'll see how the guys transition with that over into qualifying. And should be quite interesting to see that as well. Let's see who else we are to follow here. I'm just checking a few settings, guys, which is why I'm a bit off on stuff here right now.
Ooh, Alex has just had a spin.
Trying to just get some faster laps in.
Alex just had a spin in the Williams, coming round towards the long back straight. He came out of the two right-handers and just lost the back end there, but he caught it quite nicely.
See who else is still running here. I see Lasso's gotten out on track, so definitely will try to get a lap time in before the session comes to an end. It is fun though to see majority of our drivers getting out in the practice session and trying to get a lap time in. Has been interesting so far. Just about 2 more drivers after this are still in the pit, so maybe they'll probably get out before the session comes in. We still got about 7 minutes left here for the qualifying, so we'll see if they do decide to get out and try to get a lap time in. No, I did not get a new interweb connection upgrade as well. It's just the mic. That's the only thing I've upgraded on the stream so far, to be honest with you. I haven't upgraded anything else as yet so far, Brad. We're looking forward to getting to that pretty soon. Sorry, there was a spike in the audio for a second. I just hit my mic trying to set myself here. Alright, just put that a little further away from me because I don't think we needed that close. Hopefully that should be clear enough as it is there right now. So let's see what's happening here. What am I missing? Am I missing anything? No, just about 6 minutes left in the practice session. Still quite a few cars out on track trying to get some times in. As you can see, they're now trying to do these laps on the soft tires. So most of our drivers started off the practice session just running hards and mediums, and now we're seeing they're transitioning over to soft tires down at the end of the session as the track is getting a bit faster as well. So we'll start to see some improved lap times from these guys as we have it here. We can see those drivers down at the bottom in the 123s, 135, 137, 138. They're getting back out on track and trying to get a better time in before the end of the session here, and then we're going to get straight into qualifying, and hopefully they're able to advance from qualifying 1 on towards the next sessions that we have further on from that before we do get to the race. So we'll see how it works. It's a bit of a process, but it's interesting to get through the entire session as it is and just see how drivers advance from one session to the next, and if they do make it through or not. Sometimes incidents do happen in qualifying that prevent them from making it over, even though they do have the pace actually to get a faster lap in. Sometimes it's just a bit annoying on track depending on what's happening during the session. Just some drivers tend to sometimes have some trouble getting a lap done without invalidating the said lap. So we'll see how it works, but I think we're just coming down to the end of the session right now. Lasso going 130.639 and goes about 2/10 faster than can be touched. So far so good for him. Okay, so let's have a look, see how they're closing up the session. We got Tommy and Mr. Dutchface here getting out on track as well. They're trying to get maybe a lap in before the session comes to an end, probably joining on just there right now. So we are going to have a full grid of 20 drivers for the start of the French Grand Prix, and going to be quite interesting with that. So we're going to have full 20 on the grid for the start of qualifying 1. That's going to put 15 over to qualifying 2 and 10 over to qualifying 3. Going to be interesting to see what drivers or which drivers are going to be making it over, that is, to the next sessions as we have it. So it seems to be running pretty well in the practice session as we have it. Some interesting lap times as we can see there with the range that we do have it. 9.720 for this practice session. Let's see how that probably holds up going down to the end. Gets about 3 minutes left, so really not a lot of time left in the session. We'll see how it goes though. But so far so good. And they're just about to run out of time in just a few minutes here. So I think they're just trying on their last attempt, just trying to get a good lap in. And hopefully, I think Dutch Face might be having some trouble getting that lap done. Let's have a look. I think Tin Can is trying to get a faster lap in. Trying to push pretty hard off on these soft tires as he's on here right now. And hopefully for him, he's able to get a better lap in. I think that there's a bit of a glitch down at the bottom that says Hot Soldier 133.7. It's just been stuck there for quite a while. I think for most of the practice session, that's been kind of been stuck there and not going away. It does tend to happen sometimes on this game. A lot of glitches to deal with. I think now we officially have everybody in with a lap time for this practice session, so we can see just a bit of range of where they are and about how we expect our grid to somewhat look during our qualifying session. We'll see how that goes though, because some of these guys might be going a bit faster than what they are here right now in the qualifying session that they are in practice session, because they're not pushing overly as hard with the cars during the session. Just a bit of testing just with these tires, basically what they're doing here right now, just to see where they're at. So we'll see how qualifying starts to go. In just about a minute time we'll be over with the practice session here, so it should be a lot of fun to have a look at how our qualifying was going to go. And that's excellent thinking, getting back to his fastest lap now at 129.318 as he goes now, ahead of Can Be Touched, and about 4 tenths faster. So really quite an impressive time for him, at least for the practice sessions. Let's see how the rest of the session for qualifying now is going to go, as I think we're coming right down to the end of this session right here. Okay, so closing up the practice session here right now, we're going to start to head straight over to qualifying and start to get some exciting lap times in. So let's see how that's going to go here. So practice session results as it is, from fastest to slowest as we have it. Tin Can took the fastest lap there, then was Can Be Touch. Lasso went third fastest for that, then you have Chubb there, went into the 130s as well going down. Hot Soldier in 5th, James all 6th, that guy Alex there 7th, Tommy in 8th, we got GR in 9th there, we got Erez 10th, we got Johnny there 11, we got Dutch Face 12, we got Scotty there 13, Booker Bronco 14, we got Peretz in 15, Johnny Stokes 16, Avi there 17, RP Amazing 18, Rob Down in 19, and Carl in 20. That was the range with the lap times that we did have. Quite a mix of strategies in terms of tires that they used as well. So I'm going to head straight over to qualifying 1 here right now and have a look and see how that session is about to go. Okay, so welcome officially to the qualifying 1 session for RPR GP1 division, round 1 of 13 for the French Grand Prix. So we're getting started with our full grid of 20 drivers here right now, getting started with the Q1. 18 minutes already starting on the clock, and let's see who's going to be the first driver to get out on track and get a time in. We just got finished with our practice session, so let's see how these guys are going to handle this, because they should be quite rubbing into the track already here. Just see who is getting, I think, the McLaren getting out first there, either Hot Sojo or Booker Bronco there. We'll see how that is in just a bit. And I think, let's see who we have here right now. Okay, so we do have Hot Sojo is the first car getting out on track here right now for an outlap. Let's get a few things on screen so we can have a look, see what exactly is happening here. So I'm just going to leave that on, and probably let's see what tires everyone's going to be using for now. Mostly you'll probably be on the soft tires as it is, but we'll leave that off at least for now. Just see how that's going to work. That graphic is still stuck at the bottom of the screen, but let's see how that's going to work. Rain in 45 minutes there from Mr. Jack Lactus telling us it's going to be raining in 45 minutes. And guys, our full qualifying session takes about an hour, so if it's going to be raining in 45 minutes, we're going to have some rain coming down to the end of qualifying, probably going to the end of qualifying 2, heading over to qualifying 3, or most likely just in qualifying 3, but that's going to make the session a bit more interesting as well. It might, I assume it's probably a dry race there, GR, I'm not sure, but I assume it's going to be a dry race. So let's see how the setups are going to work for the Q3 session. There's definitely going to be having some rain in that session, and that's going to make it quite a bit more interesting for us to be watching from this end as well. Not maybe so much fun for the drivers, depending on who loves the wet track and who doesn't, but we'll see how they get through with that. So yeah, we're going to have our drivers about to start. I think Hot Soldier is about to get started on his hot lap here right now, so we're going to get on board with him in the McLaren and have a look at his lap as he gets around here and see what sort of lap time he's about to get in. Using up as much as the curb as he can here, so taking a very interesting line getting around this track, trying to save as much time as he can, because does need to make a pretty fast time, especially on his first go. Doesn't want to be wasting time with 20 cars in the qualifying 1 session. It's going to be quite a busy grid if everyone decides to get out on track at the exact same time. And once again, guys, welcome to all of you who are joining us both on the IG Live Esports channel and on the Rapid Pixel Racing channel. Welcome to all of you who are joining on. Please, guys, make sure you guys leave a like on both videos. All gotta say for us, because it will help us out a lot on that. So thank you guys once again for joining us on. And I'm looking forward to this rain that's coming down in about 45 minutes. That's going to be changing the aspect of the qualifying session just a little bit. So let's see how that works out. So far, still in the qualifying 1 as we go on through. Everything's going to be purple here for Mr. Hot Sojo until we have some other drivers start to make some lap times in, because he's going to be the first driver making a lap time in here. But so far, he's going pretty good on this lap. Hasn't invalidated the lap so far. But let me not speak too early about that, because that might just happen in just a bit if I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't happen when I talk about it, but we're just going to avoid that for now. So he's coming off to the end of the lap here pretty shortly right now. Get around the final turn and back onto the pit straight. and he's about to go across the line. So let's see how his first lap is gonna go here, and where he's gonna go. And he goes at a 1:30.3, really not too bad of a lap. Now let's see who is the next driver coming across the line there. I think that's Carl getting started on a hot lap. I might be trying to figure out who is the next driver to get a hot lap in. Is Lasso? Yep, I think Lasso might be the next driver to get a lap in. So he goes across the line here, and see, he goes faster now with a 1:29.19, and very good time from him. We got John there goes P3 right now with a 1:32.2. Really not too bad of a time for him as well. We got more times coming in right now. RP Amazing goes 1:31.7, puts himself up into P3 on the grid so far. Who is going to be our next driver coming in? I'm trying to figure it out right now as we get on through this. I think, see, where is Booker Bronco? He might be the next car coming through. No, he's getting started on his lap here right now. I think we might have Rob as the next driver getting across the line. Just having a look. I think that is true. Yep. And Rob goes 5th on the grid with a 1:33.1. So the lap times are going to start to come in pretty quickly, as they've all been a bit accustomed to the track already, getting through the practice session. So we're going to start to see a lot of lap times come in here very, very quickly. And who else is currently running? I think Mr. Chubb here is getting started on his hot lap right now. We have a Renault coming through. Might be XL Tin Can. Let's have a look. I'm just doing a bit of quick switching here right now. And he's invalidated his lap, so he's going to have to do another lap to try and get that going there. Let's have a look at Carl here. He is still running on his lap. So definitely trying to get a good lap in. Let's see how that's going to work for him. I think we have maybe Erez coming around here in just a bit. He's coming. I think there's a car in front of him. Not sure who that is at the moment, but I'll have a look and just probably Scotty there to get across the line. And let's have a look. We'll see about how that is going. So Erez is going across the line. Goes second fastest in the session, 1:30.089. So times are getting a bit faster and faster as we go on through the session here. And just in qualifying one. So we don't expect too much from the drivers, but what's going to happen, everyone's going to be fighting for very good lap time just to try and keep themselves from getting eliminated from the next session that's qualifying 2. They want to get over to that session as much as they can here to be into the top 15 is what they're going to have to do. So let's see how it's going to work for them. It's currently trying to follow on with someone else who is currently running. We got Mr. RPR Chubb here. He is in Sector 3, about to finish his lap shortly. And let's see where he's going to go with this lap, because might be on a good lap, I'm not sure as yet, but we'll see how it works. And the qualifying clock is counting down pretty quickly. They're already down to just under 12 minutes in Q1 itself here. So, and as we said, the guys did have a bit of a settle down on the practice session. So, getting a pretty good go here in qualifying, getting an early time out on it. And we got RPR Chubb goes 1:29.841, second fastest in the session so far. Lasso still holds on to the fastest lap for 1:29.199. And I think those are the lap times that are definitely going to be setting you aside to make sure that you can make it over into qualifying 2 here. But we'll see how it works, because we got a few drivers down at the bottom. They're definitely going to try and get a fastest time in. Where is Scotty right now on track? He's about to go across the line. And let's see what time he's about to get. Does get second fastest now, pushes Chubb down to third. He gets a 1:29.627. He's about 2/10 off the time of what Chubb did, the 2/10 faster actually. So pretty good time. Avi now goes fastest in session, 1:28.816, and makes a whole new level of lap time there. So let's see if anyone else is able to get into the 1:28s, at least for this session as we have it here. We got Johnny Stokes on an out lap right now. Let's have a look at him, as he's going to be beginning his out lap pretty shortly. So let's see where he's going to go on the grid when he does get that started there. But yep, it's quite interesting with the lap times we've had coming in so far, ranging from 1:28 to 1:35. And as you remember from our practice session we had some pretty good times here as well, but we're getting a bit faster here now as these guys are pushing as hard as they can on these tires. They want to just make sure that they can get their car over into the next qualifying session. So it's going to be interesting to see how much more the rest of the grid is going to be pushing on through to try and get their times in as well. A few more guys to get out of the pits there, which they're probably going to start getting out in just a bit. They're probably just waiting for the track maybe to clear off this way, but I think this track is actually pretty clear right now. Just a few cars out on track, so it's actually pretty clear for these guys to get out and try to get a best time in. But Johnny Stokes getting started on his lap. Probably have a look on board with him and the Mercedes and see where he's going to go when he does get a finish with the lap here. We got XL Tin Can and that guy Alex here. They're all getting out on another on an out lap right now. to try to get their laps going. So we'll see how they perform here. So far as it is fastest laps that we have it there as Avi holding on to fastest lap in the session with a 128.816. We got Lasso just about few tenths off that with a 129.199. That's second for him. Scotty there P3 129.627, 5 tenths off the time of Lasso, and Chubb another 2 tenths off in fourth. Erez with a 130.089, a very good time for him as well. I think those 129, 130s, they'll probably be able to keep them over into qualifying too, but we'll see how it goes. That 130 is going to get a bit shaky down to the end of the session. Remember, it's only the top 15 drivers that will be able to make it over to qualifying too, so they do have to try to make sure that they get a very good lap in. Otherwise, they're going to be eliminated off of that qualifying 2 session. They'll have to start on whatever position they finish off this session with, whether it's 15 down somewhere to 20th on the grid, and that's really not a good point to be starting a race here in. And that's second fastest lap now for Johnny Stokes there with a 128.860. Literally just about 500 of a second off the time of Avi there. So very close between those two already. We can see how that's getting there. And we got Mr. RPR Chubb, I think, got a faster lap time in here now. 129.471. Goes up back to P4. So really trying to keep himself up there as much as he can. We got that guy Alex here. He's trying to make a faster lap. Trying to make any sort of lap time in here. That XL team get on lap as well, but we're following with Alex right now to see how his lap is going. He's still in sector 1 going through, so hopefully he can finish off this lap and maybe get to the top 6 or 7 as it is there right now. I think a 129 will be the best possible chance of trying to stay in to the session of getting over to qualifying 2 at this point, because we do have a few drivers down to the 131s, 132 and a 135 down at the back. Racing Point not looking the best here right now. And we got RP Macing and Rob down at the bottom there as well. They need to try and improve those times that they currently have. Booker Rank with a 131.3, not looking so good of getting over to qualifying 2 in the session. We got a purple sector 2 coming off of that guy Alex here, and probably is going to be making a pretty good time. We'll see how it goes though. But yeah, so far so good in the session as we have it. We got about 7 minutes left here for qualifying 1 before we're able to move over to the next session. So let's see how the grid is going to get through with that here. Okay, so that guy Alex goes with a 129.135, puts himself up into P4 on the grid right now, so a pretty good spot for him. We got a few more drivers getting lap times in, and that's me, it's Mr. JR. They're taking fastest lap in the session, 127.5. XL Tin Can goes down to P3 now from P2, 128.8. Can Be Touch goes 128.2. We're getting way faster now with these lap times that are coming in. A 127.5 there from JR though. Quite an impressive lap time from him. So who else is currently running down in the back? We got Tommy running down in the back there as well. I think Erez just did a faster time there, 129.747, but did not improve his position on track though, unfortunately for that. But still, in P10, not the worst position to be in at this point. Okay, so let's see who we can follow along here with right now. Is Lasso on another lap? Let's have a look up here. And definitely seems like he's on another hot lap here, so let's see how he finishes off this one. Currently with a 129.199. Was way further up there on the grid with that, but let's see if he's able to improve that time here right now. And just improved just a little bit, and goes up a 129.098 into P6, about 1 position up. I think he just went, so not too bad with that. And as we said, guys, remember it's going to rain later on in the qualifying session. So these guys need to make sure that they're going to be making it to qualifying too, and they're going to have. I think definitely everyone's going to be on a rush to get lap times in when they do get to qualifying too, because just in case it does rain further down at the end of that qualifying session, they're going to want to be ready to have a lap time in on the grid already to make it over to qualifying 3 as it is. So we'll see how it works, but this is going to be interesting with a change of weather happening during the qualifying session down at the end. Always a lot of fun watching these guys try to drive in a wet track as well. So we'll see how well it works. But so far so good. Mr. Dutface now goes up third fastest in the session, 128.6, and he was not that high up during the practice session. So as you said, we're going to see some different performances happening during qualifying here. We're still waiting for James Owl and Tommy here to make a lap time for this session. We got Tommy about to go across the line here and goes 9th on the grid, 129.319. Not too bad of a time for him in the Haas there. And we got Mr. James all still into the pits there. Excellent get out of this session already. He might have retired off of the session, but I think he's pretty happy with this 128.8. We're still waiting for James All to get a time in. It's the first race of the season, so I don't think there's any penalties that should be in place for quality ban or anything for him. So should be able to get out on track and get a lap time in. Otherwise, he will be eliminated off of the session as it is there right now. So Carl, John, Rob, RP Amazing looking not so good of getting over to qualifying 2 at this point, and James All down there as well unless he gets a time in. Then that's going to push Booker Bronco out of the top 15, and that's not going to be too good for him. So let's see how the rest of the grid does get on through this. And who else is currently running on track right now? I think Booker Bronco might be trying to get a faster lap, and let's have a look at him here. And that definitely is not going too well for that McLaren driver there. Booker Bronco into the barriers there, losing the entire front wing. That's going to cost the McLaren team quite a bit. And the mechanics are going to have to work a bit overtime to try and get that car repaired in time for the race session or for the next qualifying session, if he does make it over, because he's just on the brink of getting eliminated out of qualifying 2, being on 15th on the grid there right now. So that car is severely damaged there. Hopefully the mechanics can get that repaired in time. Not sure how fast the McLaren garage is going to work on that, but we'll see how it goes for him. Hopefully he's able to get a car back on track by the time we get to the race session, if he doesn't make it over to qualifying 2. Got RP Amazing probably trying to make a faster lap in here. About to finish off Sector 3. Got just under 2.5 minutes left in this qualifying session right now, guys. So still running pretty well here. And very, very close off with these lap times, and quite a good range that we have from 127 all the way down to 132. Not too bad with lap times, but still, I think it's going to be interesting to see how we're going to get through the rest of this session. And we can see that sun is deciding to go away, maybe just a little bit, but I think it's going to go away just a bit in the qualifying 2 section when that rain will start to approach. We'll see how it works out, but let's see what's happening. Mr. Hot Sojo here on a lap here right now. No, he is not. Let's see if Rob is trying to get a faster time in. Looks like he might just be trying to get the faster time in here. And still not looking the best for Racing Point at this point here from what we're seeing here. So we're going to see how the rest of this goes, but definitely not looking too good. And we got Mr. James Bell finally out doing his hot lap, so let's see how he finishes off with that. But he's running pretty well so far. So hopefully he's able to get a good timing, because qualifying 1 is actually officially over here right now. So I want to see if he's able to get a time in to make him over into qualifying 2. So it looks like we got John, Booker Bronco, Rob, and Carl in a very dangerous spot of getting knocked off, as well as James here if he doesn't get a time. If he only invalidates his lap, that's going to be it for qualifying for him. And he's going to have to start probably down there in 20th on the grid. So we'll see how that works for him though. But so far not looking the best. Let's get on board a bit with James here and see how he finishes off his lap. His only lap that he's probably doing on the track, because he's not going to have that second go at this. And he's in sector 3 right now, about to finish it. So hopefully he gets a good time and is able to keep that car going over to qualifying 2 as it is there right now. Oh, it's just about to go across the line. Let's see where he goes. And goes third fastest in the session at 128.660, and I think that's it for qualifying here. I think there's 2 drivers who are getting their cars into the pits there right now, and that's going to be it for Q1. We're going to have a look at the final result before we head on over to qualifying 2, but barely keeping himself out of getting eliminated from the next session there, James Alder. So getting a pretty good timing as well, so not too bad at all. Waited until the very last second of the qualifying session to go and do that. So it looks like we might have Perez, John, Booker Bronco, Rob, and Carl out of qualifying 2. Our top 15 drivers should be the drivers who are making it over to the next session, but we'll just confirm that as we get over to have the results coming here in just a bit. We're just waiting for, I think, that guy Alex's car to get into pits, which is in now, so we should have a look at the results here right now. So third in the session for James All, not too bad at all so far with that. Alright, let's have a look at our qualifying 1 results here right now. We got Mr. GR Lactus here, fastest guy in the session here with a 127.591, the only 127 that we've had in qualifying 1. Can Be Touched takes the second fastest lap. We got James Al goes third, Dutch Face in fourth, XL Tin Can in 5th, we got Avi there 6th, Johnny Stokes there in 7th, Lasso there in 8th, we got that guy Alex there in 9th, Tommy 10th, Scotty 11th, RPR Chubb in 12th, Erez 13, RP Macing 14, and Hot Soju will not be making it over to qualifying 2, netted with Perez, John, Booker Bronco, Rob, or Carl there. And so that's going to be a few drivers who are not. So that's 6 drivers not making it over to qualifying 2, I think, because 1 driver was out of the session. I think that's probably why it's only going to be 14 drivers over to Q2. So let's head on over to that session and see how well these guys are going to perform there now. Okay, so here we go. Getting started with qualifying 2 here right now. We're waiting to see who's going to be the first driver to get out on track and get a lap time in. And we're going to leave this on best right now, because as we know, qualifying 2 is where these guys are going to have to think a bit about their race strategy in terms of what tires they're going to be starting the race on. And they're going to have to start the race in whatever tires they use in qualifying 2 to do their fastest laps on. That's provided they make it over to qualifying 3, of course. So they're going to have to be thinking a bit about tire strategy on this one here. When does it... It's going to start to rain further down at the end of the session there, but not right away. About 45 minutes in, so still probably way down to the end of the qualifying session is where it's gonna be raining. That's down in Q3. We're still in Q2 going through, so we'll probably start to see some cloudiness by the time we get started with the Q3. We'll see how it goes. So let's see who's out on track right now. And who is probably the first car out is James Al here, getting out pretty early off in the qualifying 2, got up pretty late. It was the last guy to get out to the pits in the qualifying 1 session. So let's see how he performs here, running in qualifying 2 right now. We're following on with him and his Haas. He's already getting to the end of sector 3 very shortly here and about to get started on his hot lap. So he's not wasting any time with this. So we're looking to see some pretty fast times in here as well, even though some of these guys are going to be running on the softs and some will be running on the mediums. We're going to see how well the lap times are going to compare in terms of in competitiveness and how close they're going to get with that. just to get to the end of the session, because remember they still do have to make it over into qualifying 3 to get into the top 10 and compete there in Q3 for the best possible starting position on the grid. So he's getting started on the hot sector 1, and every sector definitely will be purple for him. Remember, he's the first guy to about to set a lap time in, and I think we got a Mercedes coming. That might be is that RPR Chubb? That is RPR Chubb, who's going to be the second guy to set a lap time in this session here. So we'll see how his lap time goes. He's now getting across the start finish line to get his lap started. We got James Howell currently in sector 2 running on the track here at the moment, and he seems to be running pretty well. Definitely looks like he might be getting a pretty good lap in as we continue to go on through. Once again, guys, welcome to every one of you who are currently joining on to our session. Make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. And remember, guys, if you're new onto the channel here, make sure you guys subscribe. We got a lot of races that do happen on my end here as well during the course of the week. Sorry, I think I was shaking the mic for just a bit there. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoy what we got going on here. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And guys, remember, we do have multiple races going on during a week, almost every day. I think I just maybe Thursday and Saturday, the only 2 days I don't do any esports streaming. We might be doing something on the Thursdays. I haven't decided as yet, but there are like about 5 or 6 different options for the Thursdays if I'm going to decide to do something. So I'm really not sure what exactly to stream on that day as yet. But we'll see how that goes. But so far, let's keep an eye on this. What we got going. We got James Howell about to go across the line at 128.889. A very competitive lap time. And let's go on to Mr. RPR Chubb, who should be the next driver coming across the line here, and see how fast he is about to go. I think either Dutch Face or RP Amazing is coming behind him, or either maybe both of them there. I can't really tell at this point. So about half of the grid out on the track here right now. We got, let's see, the Mercedes of Chubb is about to get across the line, and let's see how fast he's going to go. Is he going to go faster than James Howell? I'm not sure as yet. Doesn't look like he will. At 129.950, about a second off of that time, but still quite competitive with it. I don't think it's going to be... I think it's going to be a little more competitive as you get further down to the end of the session. Let's have a look. See who's the next driver to get across. That's RP Amazing. Goes across the line. Second fastest, 129.907. Very competitive lap time. We got Mr. Dutface about to go across the line here right now. Now he goes second fastest, pushing down RP Amazing down a position, 129.872, about a tenth faster than RP Amazing. So really a very good time for him. We got Lasso is the next driver to come across the line, and he's invalidated his lap. He's going to have to go into the pits, unfortunately for him. Then I think Tommy is the next car coming behind, and he's on a hot lap. Yep, he is, and he's invalidated that lap as well, unfortunately. Who is the next car coming behind? Let's have a look. I think it's a Mercedes and someone else. Let's have a look here right now. I'm trying to have a look who is coming behind, because I really can't tell. Someone go across the line, or did someone just get started on a hot lap? I really can't tell at this point. But I know Tommy just got started on another hot lap there. We got Johnny Stokes on an out lap currently. He's about to get started on his lap, and he's slowing down right now. Now getting back started here. And quite an interesting view inside the garage of the Renault there. Alright, so let's see who are we following next here right now. Let's follow back on with Tommy here at the moment, because he's the guy currently on a hot lap going through. But yeah, so far so good in the session. We only got 4 lap times in, but it's getting quite close off. They're just about a tenth off of each other right now. RP Amazing and Chubb is about 500 of a second off of each other, so really quite close between the two of them there as well. And are just getting started now in qualifying too, so already getting a bit competitive in the grid here. So we got Tommy about to finish off his lap. I'm just trying to keep an eye, see who is coming just behind. So we got a few drivers more who are going to be starting their hot laps there. That's the rest of the grid basically, and except for XL Tinky, and he's still inside the pits, not getting out as yet for a hot lap in Q2. So we got Tommy about to go across the line. Let's see how fast he is about to go here, and go second fastest right now, pushing everyone else down the order. 129.538, a pretty competitive time there. So really not too bad with that. We got Can Be Touch here, has begun a lap, as well as that guy Alex here. And Can Be Touch has invalidated his lap. He's going to have to try that again, and he's a pretty fast guy around here. So that guy Alex has done a purple sector 1 so far on his lap. He's heading through sector 2 right now in the Williams. Let's see if that lap is going to go well for him or not. But so far, it looks like it's going pretty well. They're already starting off with a proper sector 1, so if he does do a proper sector 2, it would probably mean he's on for a pretty good lap as he's about to get across that line for sector 3 here right now. It's not a proper sector 2, unfortunately, but it still could be a very good lap, maybe taking away another second place. We'll see how it goes. But currently, I think we have both Haas holding on to P1, P2 in this session. James Howell and Tommy PLR there, P1, P2, 128 and 129, so not too bad with lap times that they have there. And let's see how well that holds up down to the end of our session though. So that guy Alex is about to finish off his lap here in about 2 more turns to go, and we'll see how fast he goes because we got quite a few drivers who are coming just behind him. I think Johnny Stokes is the next driver coming behind to get his lap finished, and I actually think he's going back into the pits there, so he's not going to finish his lap that he's currently on. And that guy Alex goes 130.3, not the best of lap, but let's see how that holds up as he gets out. Can be touched. We'll have to start another lap here right now because that lap is not going to work for him. Got Johnny Stokes coming around. He might be getting a lap time posted here right now. Let's have a look as he goes across the line. Goes fourth fastest, 129.891. Not too bad of a time. I think we got JR about to go across the line, and he does go across with the fastest time in the session, 128.570, about 3/10 faster than James Howell. So sets the fastest lap so far. So that's going to be quite interesting to see who's going to be able to get ahead of that. We still got a lot of time left in this qualifying session though. 6.5 minutes left to go in qualifying 2 as we're still getting on through the few more drivers coming in with their lap times in here. And who is going to be the next driver to bring a lap time in? Let's have a look. I know XO, and that is Lasso off track there. He's going to have to try and get back on track safely there to avoid any incidents. And we got the Red Bull of Avi here. He's coming around. Where's his teammate, Irez? He's done a 130.478 so far. So trying to keep an eye on Avi as he's about to go across the line down the pit straight here right now, and let's see how fast of a lap he is about. And we touch on another hot time. We got XL Tin Can here running a lap as well. Let's see how well that's going for him, and we can see the tires that these guys have used to do their fastest laps on so far in this qualifying session. So a bit interesting with that as well to see a mix of strategies between the mediums and the softs. And also quite interesting to see that JR there has done his fastest lap on the mediums. So gonna be quite hard to compete with in terms of lap times that we're seeing. Because let's see how fast he's going to. Definitely he would have been into the 127s had he been on the softs. For what we can see there, we got Scott in an outlap now as well. We'll see how that's gonna go for him. Can we get a few more cars getting back out on track as well? We'll see how that works out. I think James Hall might still be on track trying for another lap there. I think he might be in front of XL Tin Can here. Let's have a look. I'm not sure if he is the driver trying to go faster than what he did before. He's currently in P2. I don't think he did a faster lap. That XL Tin Can going third fastest in the session right now, 129.432. And really quite a competitive time. So we'll see how that works. Just about that 10 faster than Tommy there. So not too bad at all. Let's go on down to Scotty here, who's currently running, and he is in Sector 1 still. So let's see if he's going to get into purple sectors with that AlphaTauri and maybe try to get himself into the top 5 for this session here. Remember, it's only going to be the top 10 drivers going over to qualifying 3. So it's going to have to be 4 drivers out of the next session. I'm not sure which 4 drivers it's going to be as yet. We're going to wait maybe another 3-4 minutes to see what's going to happen with that and who's going to be the 4 drivers down at the bottom of the leaderboard there to be knocked off of the qualifying 3 session as we're about to head over to that. And that's where we do expect maybe a little bit of late rain to happen. We'll see how it goes though. So still waiting for Scotty to finish off this lap here right now. Lasso on another out lap. I think there's Scotty and Lasso there. There's only 2 drivers who need to make a lap time in. Lasso's a pretty fast guy. He might be able to make it over to qualifying 3 as well. I do expect Scotty will be able to get a good time and to probably make it over to qualifying 3 as well. We'll see how it goes for him. I think it's coming down to the end of Q3 here right now. I don't think he did any purple sectors, but let's see how fast his lap going to be. Actually, it doesn't look like it's been that fast. It's a pretty slow lap at 138, 139 actually. Actually, at 140.1. Not a good lap off of Scotty there. So he's going to have to try and improve that lap as much as he can. Dutch Face here might be on a faster lap trying to go through. Not actually, he's not. And RPR Chop now does a faster lap, goes into P1 with that at 128.527, just about 500 of a second faster than what JR did there. So very interesting the lap times. He did that on the softs, by the way, but still a very, very competitive lap time out front with the grid there. We can see we're getting a bit faster and faster. Our track is starting to get a bit cloudy here as well. And let's see how that's going to go. We think we got Mr. James Owl here trying to get a faster time in, using up as much of the track as he can here right now. Let's stay on board with James as he goes around, and let's see how good of a lap time he is able to get in. He seems to be in a pretty good position right now of getting over to qualifying 3, but he did those he did that previous lap on the soft tires. He's now trying to do this on the medium tires. So let's see. Oh, and he's gonna go into pits. Not gonna finish that lap. Doesn't seem like he probably was going the best for him. Let's have a look at Erez here. Is he on a hot lap here or not? I'm not 100% sure about this. And as we can see here right now, it's starting to get very, very cloudy on track. So that rain is starting to, I guess, come in just a little bit, but no drizzle as yet, as we can see. But it looks like it definitely will start to drizzle down to qualifying 3, which we have coming up in about 1.5 minutes. So let's see how the rest of this session finishes off through. Once again, guys, to all of you who are joining on the stream, welcome again, and please make sure you guys leave a like on the stream for me. Really appreciate you guys doing that. And remember, if you're new on the channel here, I have to ask to make sure you guys subscribe and just follow on with the other races we have happening during the course of the week. So thank you guys very much for that. And that is a purple sector 2 right there from Erez in the Red Bull. So it seems to be running on a pretty good lap to finish this off. Currently in 12th, currently in the position of getting knocked out of qualifying 3. So and he invalidates the lap. And I honestly thought he was about to do a faster lap, maybe get into the 129s, and he just invalidates the lap. And I don't think he's going to get to set another one unless he goes across the line and just tries to do it right now on this same set of tires here. So it doesn't look like he might, because he was trying to do this on these soft tires as it is there right now. Let's have a look at RP Amazing here right now, trying to get a faster time. And currently down there in P11 as it is. He's running on the soft tires, trying to get a way faster time in. Not sure if he's going to be able to pull this off right now. Where is Johnny Stokes? Invalidated his current lap that he's running on. Top 4 drivers back into the pits. They're happy with the times that they have there right now. They're going to be able to make it over to the next qualifying session with that. Can be touched here in 7th right now, running another fast lap, trying to get a better time in than a 129.672. Hopefully he's able to get that in, as he's currently in 8th right now. Gets pushed down a little bit more, and does a purple sector 1, but I'm not sure how well his sector 2 time is going to go here. This seems to be a bit off on the track there for a second. Well, let's see how he finishes up. I'm going to stay on board with him and see if he's able to get it into the top 3 or top 4 on the grid before the end of, actually it's already the end of Q2, but by the end of this lap. So that's it for qualifying 2 there officially, guys. Timer is out on that one. Anyone who's currently running a lap will be able to finish, and that's going to be it. We see Avi went up to P4. He's held on to that time there so far. That's a purple sector 2 right now for Can Be Touched, on for a excitingly good lap to finish off qualifying 2 here right now. Let's get on the overhead camera and watch as this guy gets around the final sector and final chance of getting a better lap here in qualifying 2. And looks like he might actually be able to do this. So I think he's about to go. Is he moving? He's not moving very fast, so he's not going to finish up that lap that he was doing there, but was on for a pretty good lap though. I'm not sure what happened. Probably messed it up just a bit, and didn't want to take the chance of going and finishing it off. So unfortunate for that, but still. Let's see how our finishing grade is going to look for qualifying 2. And then we're going to head straight into the qualifying 3 session, where we do expect some rain to be happening. So We'll see if we're going to be running with a wet track in that session or not. I wonder if that's going to transition over to the race session as well. I'm not sure as yet, but we'll see how it goes though. But looking good so far, I gotta say, with qualifying too, those lap times are very, very competitive. As we can see there, majority of our drivers in the 129s, and we got 3 drivers in the 128s. It just makes you wonder, what is qualifying 3 gonna look like with our top 10 fighting it off for the best starting position on the grid for the French Grand Prix, but going to be quite interesting to see how that's going to work out. And I'm just waiting, I think, for Lasso's car to get fully into the pits, and we can see the drizzle start to come in already down to the end of this session here right now. So already starting to drizzle, and I'm going to continue on that into qualifying 3. So going to be quite an interesting session to see how that's going to work. Okay, so let's have a look at our qualifying 2 results here right now. We got RPR Chubb went fastest in the session with the Mercedes at 128.527. Then we got JR went second fast in the session at just about 500 of a second off of Chubb's time. James Hall went third fastest with the next 128.889, just about 3/10 off of JR's time. Then we start with the 129s with that guy Alex there, P4. Tommy P5, Avi in 6, XL Tinky 7, Lasso there in 8, Can Be Touched there in 9, and Scotty finishes off our top 10. We're heading over to qualifying 3. Starting 11th on the grid is going to be Dutch Face. Johnny Stokes will start 12, RP Mason 13, Erez will have to start 14th on the grid. And we can see the mix of strategies that we have. Some of these guys are going to be in a medium, some are going to be in a soft to start the race off, provided it's a dry start in the race as well. That is going to be, otherwise it's really not going to matter at that point if the race is going to start in a wet condition, but I think it might be a dry race. We'll see how it goes. But yep, heading over to qualifying 3 here right now. Alright guys, so welcome on over to qualifying 3. 12 minutes have already started to count down on that clock, and we got some rain on track here right now, so it's going to be a wet track. They're going to have to be running on the inters, and let's see how that's going to work, because intermediate tires, not too bad to run on. It's not a full wet track, I don't think, as yet. Hopefully not ready for the full wets as yet. We'll see how it goes. Let's see who's going to get out on track. But we already got drivers getting out on track, and let's see if they're running on the intermediate tires or they're full wets. And they're running on the intermediate tires. That's the green wall tires there. Those wet tires are, the full wets are on the blue, has a blue ring around it. So green means it's intermediate. So let's see how these guys handle the track. And now we're going to have some slower lap times. Unfortunately, we were looking forward to a very exciting qualifying 3 with some very interesting lap times on those dry tires. But it's going to be, it's still going to be a bit interesting here. Let's see how this works out with the intermediate tires in this session. And drivers are going to be getting off a bit early off in the session, trying to get a lap times in, just in case the rain starts to come down a bit more down to the end of the session. Will make it a bit more difficult to actually get a lap time in. But let's see how they perform in this session here right now. So following with that guy Alex at the moment, and he might be the first driver on here to set a lap time. I mean, everyone's going to be running on the intermediate tires, so we'll see how it works out though. And being as the first race back for the new season, I think the season is set to be finished quite in comparison with the GP2 division. So I think both divisions will be finishing off just about the same time. I think it's going to be just before the release of the new game, probably a week or 2 weeks before the release of F1 2021, I think, when it's scheduled to release. I'm not sure if they officially set the date as yet. I don't think they did, but we do have to, I think we have an estimate date of when around it's going to come out. But I think majority of our leagues are doing the exact same thing, just setting their seasons to current season to finish just before that is to be released. So we'll be starting some new seasons on the F1 2021 game, and I think everyone's going to be looking forward to that as well. A lot of new liveries to look forward to in the game. So we'll see how that works. So it's going to be exciting to get on over to that one, and hopefully they fix all of the issues that we're having on this one here. because I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to right now with that game. So hopefully everything's going to be fixed, and I will see how that works out when we do get around to that time. So still a bit away from that, but yeah, but I think so. That's why we're setting up for 13 races only for this current season with GP1 division here. Alright, so everything is going to be purple so far for that guy Alex there. He's the first driver that's going to be setting a time here in this session again. He's currently heading off in sector 3 already, so we're going to be finishing this lap pretty soon. I will see how the lap times are going to be here with the intermediate tires on now, because it's going to be a little more tricky with that. Lap times are going to be a lot slower than we would have had on the dry tires, of course, because conditions on track are a little more difficult to deal with, and we can get on board with him and have a look and see what it is like here right now. They're trying to just keep on the racing line as much as they can so that the red racing line is going to dry off just maybe just a little bit more and provide a little more grip for the cars as they get on through. Alright, so he's about to go across the line right now, and let's see, he goes 140.572. Not a bad time at all, provided he's done that on the intermediate tires there. Alright, so let's see who is the next driver to come. I think Scott is somebody's in front of him. Alright, so still following on. Let's see what's happening with our lap times here right now. So as they're trying to come in, they're just about around the same range as we can see here. Following our Mr. GR right now, getting his lap going, and just did a purple sector 1. So Excel Tinkan fastest lap in this qualifying 3 session right now, 140.250. That guy Alex in second right now, 140.576. Scotty there third with a 140.6. 00, and Lasso 141.608, about the second half of that time, but still very close off with these times that we do have it so far. And it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be starting on pole here for the French Grand Prix, because quite interestingly, with a wet track, it's going to be maybe a bit of a change up depending on how these drivers handle a wet track, who's running better on it and who's not, but we'll see how that goes. But so far so good, as we can see it with the times that are coming in, and we'll probably see a bit more competitiveness with the lap times as we get further to the end of the session, which is going to happen pretty shortly because it's already down to 6.5 minutes left in this qualifying session as we have it here right now. And that is here with the fastest lap time in the session at 139.8. Very, very interesting lap time. Let's see if anyone else will be able to beat that before we get to the end of the session. So we still got Tommy, I think the only driver yet to set a time, and he's invalidated his current lap, which is going to be a bit harder to just keep the car avoiding to do that with the conditions on track as it is there right now. Let's have a look, see who else is running a lap. We might have our RPR shop running another lap here right now. Alright, so I think Chubb is trying to get a faster time in. Where is he on track? Is he running in sector 2 right now at this point here? And I want to see if he's going to be able to get maybe into the 140 or 141. Currently at 143.062. Not the best of time. So as we said before, some of these drivers are not going to be the best guys running on a wet track. But I think they're going to be a little bit better running on a dry track, which I think the race is dry, which they might actually be looking forward to that. So I'm hoping for this, it's a dry race. But we'll see how that works out as we get to that point in the session there. So so far so good with what we had going on here. We got just about 4.5 minutes left in the qualifying 3 here right now. Time is going away so quickly from us, and lap times are coming in very quickly as well. So let's see, we're going to have everyone get up for a second round of lap times probably here. Some of these guys already probably did a second lap on the tires that they're running on. They're trying to get the fastest time in as they can. Now remember, if the race is going to be a wet start, then it doesn't matter what tires you start on at that point, because everyone's going to have to start on the intermediates or probably full wet tires, depending on how that session goes. But I think it might be a dry start for the race. And we got RPR Chubb. Let's see, XL Tin Can goes fast in the session so far, 139.714, and RPR Chubb now goes 141.718. Needs to improve that time a little bit more if he wants to get a front row start here. So XL Tin Can and GR Lactus looking pretty good. That guy Alex currently looks like he might be starting P3. He's on for trying to get a faster lap in. Scotty currently in P4 on the grid. Can be touched here. His teammate currently P5 and Lasso currently 6. Chubb looking like he's going to start 7. We got James L currently in 8 in the pits. We got Alfie 9 currently in the pits. We got Tommy in the outlap right now. He has not made a lap time as yet to in this session, so we'll see if he's able to get one here right now. He's still on an outlap. Let's see if we have anyone else currently running a hot lap here. And looks like we might have that guy Alex. So I'm going to sit on board with him again as he gets on through this lap. Is can be touched on another lap here, and he's invalidated that current lap that he's running there, so he's not going to be able to finish off that lap as it is there right now. So let's get on back with Alex and see how this lap is currently going for him, as you can have a good look of the amount of rain coming down on track right now. It looks like it might be getting to the point very soon where they might need full wet tires and run on track, as this rain is coming down very heavily at this point. And if the amount of water on track gets a bit too much for these tires to displace, they're going to have to switch over to the wet tires to run on track. But of course, those tires are a bit slower actually than the intermediates, so I don't think anyone's going to even try to run on them at that point. If that does happen, they're just going to try as much as they can to finish up the session. The next 2.5 minutes to finish it off with the intermediate tires as they have it here. Seems to be running pretty well though, because that guy Alex here getting the fastest purple. He got a fastest sector there for running on the tires, and he's about to finish off. That was sector 2, I think it was. Yep, and he's about to finish off this sector 3 here right now. Let's see if he gets a faster lap. Currently in P3 with a 140.576, and just about 2 or 3 turns more to go before he gets across back that line. And let's see if he's able to get a better time in. And does go a bit faster, but just about 500 of a second faster, and still says here right there in P3 at 140.505 now that he does have. XL Tin Can still holding on to fastest lap in the session. GR Lactus still holding on to second fastest lap in the session. Looks like that's going to be the start for them if it does stay that way. We'll see what works. So GR on another outlap right now. He's going to try and get a better time in. We got Scott here. Looks like he's trying to get a faster time in the AlphaTauri, and his teammate has been pushed down to a 6th position on the grid there right now. Scotty having a bit of trouble with the car there. Hopefully he's able to keep that, and hopefully he gets to finish up this lap and maybe makes a faster lap to get maybe a position or 2 up if he can here right now. Getting a bit twitchy with the rear of the car. Let's see if he's able to keep that car stable as he gets on through with the lap. About to finish in maybe about 2 or 3 turns more to go. Just about a minute left in qualifying 3 here, guys. We're just getting right up to that race session, which we're looking forward to so much here right now. We'll see how that race session is going to go though with the race start. And really much looking forward to how that first opening lap for the French Grand Prix is going to be. Always an exciting race around there. We've watched many races on this channel before. If you guys haven't seen them, do check them out. A lot of races I've done with these leagues racing on basically all of the tracks, I gotta say. Some of these tracks maybe not so much, but most of the tracks we do have a lot of races covered on them, so we'll see how that works out. So Scott here up into P3 right now at 140.463, and that's going to be quite an interesting position for him to be starting this racing if he does keep that there. But of course we got JR here on another lap. Let's see if he's able to get a faster lap in and probably get ahead of XL Tin Can. Wants to probably do that right now. He's about the 10th off of the time, and really trying to improve that time there right now. I'm not sure if he's getting any purple sectors. Let's see if he's going to get any purple sectors here or not. About to get over to sector 2 here right now. Not a purple sector, unfortunately, but he's going to continue on through with a lap, and let's see if he's able to get a faster lap in. XL Tin Can is already out. He's over with his times already. A few drivers probably still running in the session. We'll see if they're able to get a better time in. I think Avi just went into 6th there, so not too bad with him at his final lap that he ran here on the track. And that's going to be a good position for him to start in if he does start there. Tommy and James L, 9th and 10th so far on the grid. And I think they're both on the lap there right now, trying to improve their time. We'll see that works for them. And of course, we still got a few drivers. And James L goes up into P5 for a race start here right now. Very interesting time for him at 140.776. Not too bad at all. And then Tommy down at the bottom. They're still in 10th. I think he's still on track trying to run a lap. We'll see if he's able to finish that lap and hopefully get a better time in. And Tommy's retired off of the session, so he's not going to be making that lap any better than it is right now. He's going to be starting down there in 10th. I'm just trying to follow on with Mr. JR Lactus here to see if he's going to be getting a faster time than a 139.807, or if he's able to start on pole here. We'll see how that works for him. And goes across the line, unfortunately not able to get a time better than what XL Tinkian got, so he's going to have to start there in 2nd on the grid. And is that guy Alex still running a lap here right now? Let's have a look. He's about to go across the line. Might be still trying to do a fast lap. 140.505. Is he going to try to go faster than that here? I'm not sure if he did. But let's have a look at our qualifying 3 results, and then we're going to get straight on over into the race session, which we're all looking forward to for the past hour and a half that we've been on this stream here. So XL Tinkian gets the fastest lap in the session. We'll be starting on pole in P1 for the French Grand Prix. We got GR Lactus going to start alongside him in 2nd on the grid. We got Scott is going to start 3rd, and then we got Alex there. That guy Alex starts 4th on the grid. We got James All starting 5th. RPR Chubb is going to start 6th. Then we got Avi starting 7th. Can Be Touch will start 8th. Lasso they will start 9th, and Tommy here will start 10th on the grid, as we have it there right now. So very interesting lap times with these intermediate tires as well. But we're going to have a full look at our grid as we get started in the race session there. So let's get over to that session there right now. Okay, so we're getting started with the formation lap here right now. As you can see, it's going to be a 27-lap race around the circuit here for the French Grand Prix with RPR GP1 division. Now, so as we said, we get through the top 10 just about a few minutes ago. We have XL Tinkian is going to start in P1 in this race. Then we got GR Lactus starting 2nd. We got Scott is going to start 3rd. That guy Alex starting 4th. James Owl starts 5th. We got RPR Chubb starting 6th. We got Avi starting 7th. Can Be Touch will start 8th. Lasso will start 9th. Tommy starts 10th. And it's going to be a dry start for this race, of course, as we can see here. Dutch Face is going to start 11th. Johnny Stokes starts 12th. RP Amazing in 13th. Erez is going to start 14th. Hot Soldier will start 15th. We got Perez starting 16th. John starts 17th. Boca Bronco starts 18th on the grid. Rob Simracer will start 19th, and Carl there will have to start 20 on the grid as we have it there. Let's get a few stats up on screen as we have it. So we're going to keep our lap data on telemetry. I'm going to put that on after we have DRS enabled on track, so we don't need that on here right now. We're going to have a look at tires as we have it here right now to see what these guys are going to be starting on. So for top 10 as we have it, we got Top 3 drivers starting on the mediums as well as can be touched down there in 8, and the rest of the top 10 grid will be starting on the softs as it is there right now. Then we're down at the bottom there from 11th onwards to 18th. They're going to be starting on the mediums, and then a bit of a change of strategy to Rob there starting on the hards and Carl starting on the soft. So definitely what Carl's plan is going to be there. He's going to just try as much as he can to gain most positions through the start of this race. We'll have to keep an eye on him as well to see how that's going to go there. But it's going to be pretty interesting here with that guy Alex here. He's starting there in P4 on the soft tires. He's going to definitely be pushing to try and get past Scotty on the opening lap of the race. So we're going to see how that goes with him. And if he gets a good start on the soft tires, so being the fourth driver on the soft tires there, he might actually be able to get a good run behind Scotty and GR Lactus there. Let's see. And if he's going to be able to get onto a podium position again, maybe keep it there all the way to the end of the race. We'll see how it works for him though. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to switch this off to position changes so you guys can keep an eye on that and see what position changes will be happening on the race start. As we're going to try and keep our camera angle to focus as much as we can on most of the grid as they get through turns 1 and 2. Of course, on the bit halfway down the run from here to turn 1, we're going to keep an eye on JR and XL Tin Can to see who's getting a better start on this race. We got Scotty and that guy Alex just behind of them. James all as well. They're all going to be coming and fighting for the lead of the race here right now. So let's see how that's going to go. Alright, so we're about to get ready. The lights are starting to go off here already. And we have the position changes on. That leaderboard might get mixed up, so ignore that if that does happen. And they seem to get a bit of a decent start, both of them. And XL Tin Can gets away pretty well. Let's see how that's going to work with the rest of the grid getting all over the track here right now. Let's see if we're going to have any contact happening as they get through the first turn here. There might be some minor contact happening as they all get on through. A few cars going side by side. It's about 3-way through. We got a Haas off track there right now. I'm not sure whose that is. I think that's Tommy getting off track there. Might definitely have contact with someone as he gets on through. That's I think that's Lasso there getting spun around there right now. A Mercedes as well of John. I think that's probably Johnny Stokes. I'm not sure. The grid is getting mixed up at the moment, so very hard to tell who is getting spun around down in the back. But quite a few incidents on that race start. I'm surprised we don't have a virtual safety car for that all happening down in the back there. But we seem to be running pretty well so far and going through. Back up on front, we're going to have to keep an eye to see what's happening. Let's have a look down in the back here with Johnny Stokes. Definitely has some damage on that Mercedes there. As well as Lasso, he might have some damage on his car. Does he have damage? I don't see any damage on the front wing as yet, but definitely should. Tommy was spun around as well. I don't think he have any damage on his car, so he's going to continue racing on through. We can have a look at the grid and see what's changed so far with the grid. And Scotty fell down 2 positions. We got Alex right there where he started. James All is up 2 positions from the start of the race and still running there. So far so good with the race start as we have it. All 20 drivers still into this race. So that's good to see. We got Scotty getting very close behind that guy Alex here right now. And he's going to chase him off, try to get that position back up if he can. But let's see how that's going to work. Because remember, Alex is running on the soft tires here right now. Of course, James Howell is as well. So those two got a pretty good start off of Scotty there. And got ahead of him for the first 2 turns. So, so far, so good with that. Let's have a look who's coming behind. And how the rest of the grid is shaping up as we get on through here right now. Out in front, XL Tin Can having some pressure coming under him from GR Lactus and James All just behind of him, as well as Alex there. All going to be fighting off for the lead of the race as we have it here right now. A pretty close gap that exists between them, and I think that's going to be going on that way for just a bit. We're going to switch this over to tires as we have it here right now, so you guys can have a look at that as it is. We'll probably turn telemetry on as well, so you guys can see what exactly is happening on track as these guys continue to race on through. So we're trying to keep an eye, see who has a closer battle down at the back here. And I've got Lasso here getting past Rob Sim Racer, going side by side with him still to get that position up. And looks like Rob is fighting him back on it. Rob holds on to 15th position as it is, and Lasso is trying to get it wrong. He has a racing point of Carl and then the house of Tommy coming just behind. Those two trying to go side by side behind him as well. And then so the Renault of Lasso still holds on to 15. Tommy is now up to 16. Rob is down to 17. Carl's still right where he was running at the time. And so a bit of a change between them. They're still fighting off for that position as they continue racing on through. Tommy now running just behind the Renault of Lasso. He's trying to fight for the position if he can. RP Amazing and Hot Soju. Oh, and John is out of the race. That racing point is out. Something's happened on track, I think, with him. I'm not sure we can see his car where it is. I'm trying to have a look right now. I don't think his car is going on track. Anyway, it's a virtual safety car for that. That's going to put a pause on all the battles on track, at least for half of a lap, until that gets sorted through and we can get back racing here. So Ford's virtual safety car in the race happens on lap 2. And 1 driver lost so far. And I think I see where his car is. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it from Ires's car here. Let's have a look. I think I barely saw a glimpse of it. I'm not even sure, and the car has disappeared now, so that's over with. We're gonna continue on with the rest of the race as we're about to get back racing here pretty shortly. We do have Tommy into the pits there right now. Might have had some damage from the restart, I'm not sure. And Johnny Stokes gets the drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car here right now. That's going to hurt him in the race just a little bit. So first penalty of the race so far goes to just Johnny Stokes there. Drive-through penalty, and that's one of the worst to get at this point. And he's running all the way down in 19th on the grid already. Didn't have the best of possible starts there. So let's see, we're back racing again. The VSC is over and we're back racing. Let's see how Mr. GR Lactus is catching up with XL Tin Can right now. A pretty close gap between the two of them as he continues to race on through. And he's really looking forward to a gap to get through because they're both running on the medium tires here as it is. So just a bit of on the even playing field side, and let's see if GR is able to catch up and maybe get that position up here. A train of cars coming just behind them as well, so they're going to have to be a bit careful just to not make any sort of mistakes out in front here as the two of them are leading the race here. Then we got James here and that guy Alex fighting it through for P3, a final podium position in the race. So let's see what that's going on as well. It's a pretty close gap going and coming a bit, so I'm going to keep on that. And with GR and XL Tin Can for the lead of the race out front. So trying to follow with these two, see if that's going to be a change happening or not. Because a pretty close gap. XL Tin Can does have that clean air to work with out in front. Of course, GR Lactus is about to have some DRS advantage, which might help him run down the pit straight. He's using the overtake, everything that he has right now to push on through. Has the fastest lap as well on that previous lap there. And he gets right up to the rear of XL Tin Can's car. And definitely going to be looking for a good gap to get by here right now. That DRS advantage really helped out, along with a bit of overtake, really pushed him forward. And I think with a bit of a closer gap, he definitely might be able to get that overtake done. He's trying to keep the gap under a quarter of a second as it is right now to hopefully get that overtake done within the next lap's time. I think we're going to keep following that for just a bit to see how that's going to go on through. Unfortunately, we lost John here in the racing point after this race already. But incidents do tend to happen sometimes. We have to just account for that and continue on with the race. And GR getting pretty close up between him and XL here. And he's pushing on through on the inside. Going to take it around there. Some minor contact, I think, between the two of them. They still go side by side. And GR takes over the lead of the French Grand Prix right now. XL Tin Can goes down to second place in this race. And that's another virtual safety car right now. Something's happened on track somewhere. I'm trying to figure out where the heck that is at this point. I'm not sure what's happened on track. Maybe there's some debris on track somewhere, or maybe someone just got a bit of an incident. But Johnny Stokes going very slowly along the back there as well. I'm not sure what's happened. Everyone does have to decrease their speed by about 40%. And GR got that overtake done just in the perfect time span there, just to get ahead. And just after that is when the virtual safety car happened. So he got that he was pretty lucky off with that overtake there to get it done at that point. And that's Booker Bronco now with a drive-through penalty. Not looking too good for him. He's up into 13th in this race here at this point. We got RPR Chop into the pits here right now. He's probably getting off those soft tires, and we'll see what sort of strategy he's planning to run. The VSC is over and we're back racing again. XL Tin Can is running as close as he can just behind GR to try and catch back up and get back the lead of the race if he can here right now. We'll see how that works. So there are a few more pit stops happening down in the back, but so far still good with what we can see. We got Can Be Touch getting pretty close off with Scotty here and their teammates, so let's see if that's working between them. So he gets ahead. I think Scotty might have allowed him to go by. A bit of a switch between the AlphaTauri drivers there. So Can Be Touch goes ahead up into P5, and he's going to chase after that guy Alex right now. So I guess a bit of teamwork on their end to try and get up as much points for the team as they can. Behind them comes Avi and Dutchface there. Two of them are having a pretty close gap as well. Down at the back, let's see what's happening. A bit of change between RPR Chubb, I think, and Carlair, who's gotten up to 13th in the race so far. And going back to Dutchface right now, let's have a look. He's fighting it off with Avi in a Red Bull, trying to get that position up if he can. He's running in P8. Let's see if he's able to catch Avi and maybe get by. Has the overtake on, and is using as much as he can here right now. He's going to pull off on the inside and probably try to push it on through. And let's see if that's going to work for him or not. We're still going a bit side by side here. And looks like he might have got the position up, but the Red Bull of Avi is still coming behind of him and still going to fight him back for that position. Of course, he looks like he has to settle for P8 right now and just let that position be. Might not be able to get it overtake done back in time. We're currently on lap 5 right now of 27 and going through. Let's have a look out front what's happening with our race leaders here right now. Mr. GR getting the fastest lap in the session, and we got XL Tin Can chasing after him, half a second behind him. You can see James Owl and that guy Alex coming behind, a half a second between the two of them as well, fighting it off for P3. These two are fighting it off for the lead of the race as it is here right now. And I think a bit of a same strategy they're running on. JR and XL Tin Can, both on the mediums. James Owl and that guy Alex, both on the soft tires as it is down in the back there. And running, so let's see how that's going to work for them. We have had a few pit stops happen in this race so far as it's been. They're going down to that guy Alex here, trying to have a look on board with him. He's having his DRS advantage and does have a lot of overtake to use as well, trying to catch up to James Owl as much as he can here. He's getting a bit closer though. And he has closed the gap quite a bit. He's trying to get it under half a second and maybe a little more than that if he can at this point. We'll see how that works for him. But so far so good as he continues to chase it on down, getting the gap to half a second. He's trying to break it down a bit further. Does have a lot of ERSC, but I think he's keeping that for a later point in the race when actually needed. And the gap is starting to come down by a tenth as we race on through lap 6 here right now. And those go a bit wider. Alex loses about 3/10 off of that mistake there, and that's going to cost him. He's going to have to try and catch back up as much as he can here. Gaps are starting to go away just a little bit here right now. It's starting to go over a second as he lost a bit of time, and he's using his DRS advantage and overtake as much as he can. Let's go down to XL Tin Can. He's using all of the advantage he does have to him to try and catch back up to GR for the lead of the race. And it's going to be quite an interesting battle between these two to fight it off for the lead unless they start to get penalties. We have a few drivers down at the back of the grid there with penalties as it is there right now. We'll have a look at those penalties in just a bit as well as the race continues on through. About 20 and a half laps more left to go here still in this race before we get to the end. So quite a way more for these guys to go. And it should be a dry race all the way through. We'll see how that works for them. Last two into the pits down at the back there as well. I think that guy Alex has gotten the gap back to under a second as it is there right now. Still following on with JR and XL Tin Can. See what these two are up to here right now. This gap is going to go further down. And though that guy Alex is getting much closer right now to James Owl. So he's really looking forward to getting that gap broken down as fast as he can. Maybe try to get an overtake done with, so he can get up that position. We got Can Be Touched on Scotty, both Alpha Tauris running behind of each other, coming up behind that guy Alex right now. So he needs to be careful not to make any sort of mistakes, as he's going to leave room open for Can Be Touched to catch up. He's only about a second, 1.2 seconds behind actually, getting under a second right now. He's going to be in the DRS range of that guy Alex's car now. And that's not going to be ending too well for him. He needs to be a bit careful with that because Can Be Touched is a pretty fast driver. He might be able to catch up even though he's running on the mediums. He's just pacing that car a bit and just seeing how much he's able to push forward. And he's already gotten the gap down to about half a second. That guy Alex is falling back quite a bit right now. He's lost the gap that he had and he's into the pits. No, sorry, James Owl is into the pits. That guy Alex is running about 5.3 seconds behind XL Tin Can right now. Sorry about that, my bad on that. And the gap between him and Can Be Touched is about 0.3 of a second. And that's starting to go down just even further down now. Scotty's coming just behind his teammate here as well. So going to be interesting to see if both AlphaTauris are going to try to get past Alex here. So he's under a bit of pressure right now, trying to keep that position. And looks like Can Be Touched is getting right up to the rear of him and might be able to get his position up. We'll see how this goes so far for him. And already has the overtake on and going to have the DRS advantage, and he's probably going to be able to pull alongside Alex here. And definitely so has the straight line speed to go ahead and get ahead of Alex here right now. Puts him down to P4. That's Can Be Touched up to P3, and he's going to keep that position for now. We got Scotty now running just behind that guy Alex. Let's see if he's able to get by as well or not. And out front between GR and XL Tin Can, that gap is still about half a second. It's really not going anywhere at this point, and I think it's going to stay the same way as it is there right now. We're still following on with these three fighting it through here. Can Be Touched, that guy Alex, and Scotty still fighting it through for that position. Scotty getting up right up to the rear of that guy Alex's car right now, so that Williams is in a lot of trouble. He is about to lose another position here if he's not careful. And then Mr. Dutchface there in 6th. He's about another 3 seconds behind, so nothing too worried about him. And we got that guy Alex going into the pits here right now. He's doing a pit stop, and he's going to get off those soft tires, which are probably starting to go off a bit on him. And let's see what strategy he is about to run on the tires here right now. It looks like he's going onto the hard tires to go down to the end of the race, so he's not going to be doing another pit stop. It's going to be that one and only pit stop that he's doing. I'm not sure if everyone was waiting for a safety car to happen at this point in the race for them to do their pit stops or so, but That doesn't seem to be a possibility at this point. Everyone's racing on through a pretty decent gap between them as we have here right now. And Tommy there, that's shoved into the pits there, my bad. I thought he was fighting it off with someone else. And we got the Tin Can here still chasing after JR for the lead of the race as we have it. Using everything at his disposal right now to try and keep his eye on GR, just to try and keep the gap as close as he can here. And hopefully he's able to get an overtake done. But so far, he's doing a pretty good job of keeping the gap close, but he's going to need to try and get the overtake done as much as he can if he does need to get back the lead of the race, or he might have to try and get him during the pit stops. We'll see how that works for him. Alright, so guys, so let's get back to this here right now. So still this battle is ongoing between our top two drivers that we have it here right now, Jira and Tin Can here. This two, I think they're probably going to be chasing each other around all the way to the end of the race, as it seems here right now. So let's see what the rest of the grid is up to at the moment. We got Can be touching our running P3. Scotty is ahead up into P4 because that guy Alex did his pit stop. So both AlphaTauri is running third and fourth in the race as we have it here right now. So a pretty good position they're running in. Then we got Dutch Face here, and RP Mason gets there in 6th. A bit of a gap between them as we have a Hot Soldier running 7. James are running 8 as we have it here right now. Then we got that Galaxy. He's done his pit stop. Went onto the hard tires. He's back out on track into 9th place right now. Of course, cars in front of him do have to pit. So we'll see how that changes the aspect of the grid later in the race as we get to that point. We'll be starting to do their pit stops pretty soon as well. RP here running on the fresh hard tires now as well. Into 10th place he is right now. Tommy there running in 11th. As there's a bit of a gap as between these drivers that we have it. Rob there 12 and does have Erez coming in a Red Bull just behind of him there that we can see just about half a second behind the gap is between them. We're trying to see if that's going to really be going anywhere or not, because Erez is trying to catch up as much as he can to Rob here at the moment. And he's starting to close that gap just a little bit more, and he needs to get pushed a little bit further on to try and get ahead. And he might be focusing to do this down the pit straight when they do get to that point. He's trying to push it down on the inside here right now. And looks like he might be able to get it with the DRS advantage coming up here right now. And using his overtake, he should be able to quite easily get past. But let's have a look on board with him here at Erez and see how he's going. He's definitely getting past and up into P12. He goes there right now. That's going to put Rob down to 13th position on the grid here. Unfortunate, but overtakes do tend to happen sometimes. The DRS advantage and overtake is quite powerful on the track and does help drivers push ahead just a little bit more. So that is the Red Bull of Erez up into P12, a good overtake position for him. Rob down to 13, unfortunately, and let's see the rest of the grid still is getting on through. Out in front, we still have that under a second gap that we have between JR and Tin Can. Two of them still ready to go through. Lasso here 14th right now, 1.8 seconds behind Rob as we have it. Chubb running down in 15th on the grid at the moment. And a bit more of a gap as we have down in the back with Peretz in 16. We got Booker Bronco running in 17. Johnny Stokes running just under a second behind of him in 18th here. And Carl running in 19th. His teammate John out of the race, unfortunately, though. And out in front, I see the gap starting to increase just a bit. Let's go on down to James out there in 7th. He's chasing after the McLaren of Hot Soldier right now. Getting with him, and he's trying to go alongside him. And let's see, he's going to get onto the pit straight right now, have the DRS advantage and the overtake on, and this is one of the most interesting parts of the track to try and get an overtake done. That is so easy down that straight, and he's going to get that overtake done into turn 1. Let's see if he gets it wrong, or if James is going to fight it back on him actually and gets the position back up. Doesn't allow him to get ahead. So Hot Soldier still about half a second behind and chasing after James All here right now. James All starting to get under a second behind RP Amazing now, who is running in P3 in this race at the moment here. And let's see how that battle is progressing on to. So we're focusing a bit on James All to see what's going to happen between the three of them. He's catching up pretty quickly right now to RP Amazing. He's definitely going to be trying to get that position up into P3 if he can. So far so good as we have it here. Cap is getting a bit closer and closer. He's going to have use of his overtake right now. He's going to use that and try to go alongside RP Amazing. It looks like he's going to have to go around the outside, take the long way around, and let's see if he's able to get it overtake done. Looks like he does get it done. James All up into P3 in the race right now. RP Amazing down to P4 unfortunately. Hot Soldier still running down there in P5 and can't be touched right now down there in 6th position, chasing after the McLaren of Hot Soldier. He's about to take away that position from him here right now if he's able to. Let's see, he's going side by side with him and still fighting him around the outside to get that position up. And looks like Can't Be Touched has gotten up into P5. The McLaren might be trying to come back at him. A pretty close gap between the two of them as he goes into the pits just behind RP Amazing there right now. So that's going to put the rest of the grid up a few positions there. So let's see how that's running so far. So we still got GR Lacta still running P1 in this race, has done his pit stop. XL Tinken has done his pit stop, still running 2nd place in this race as it is right now. James Al now up into P3 as we have it here. Can't Be Touched running P4, about 1.3 seconds behind of him. And then that guy Alex now back up into P5 as it is here right now in the race. He's about 2.8 seconds behind Can't Be Touched, so really not too bad of a gap. But he's having a bit of a tussle with both of the AlphaTauri drivers from the start of this race up to this point. He's back between the two of them once again, and he does need to be a bit careful because Scotty here is coming just behind of him on about 3 laps fresher tires, and he's going to chase after him to try and get that position up. You can see him off in the distance, just not clear enough, but he'll get there. And he's using his DRS advantage as much as he can, closing the gap just a little bit right now, gaining a few tenths as they get on through this lap 13 of 27. We're just about the halfway point of this race right now. And out in front, and have a look what's happening here at the moment. We got Can't Be Touched and James Alls fighting it off for P3 in the race. And also Can't Be Touched is taking away the final podium position away from James All at the moment, which he fought so hard for. So Can't Be Touched is now up into P3. That's James All down to P4. Of course, Can't Be Touched does have a penalty though. Let's have a look at these penalties as we're on it here right now. Let's see what penalties these guys currently have. It's a 3-second penalty right now for Can't Be Touched. We got 5 seconds for Scotty. Dutchface has 3 seconds. Obby has 3. 6 seconds for Hot Soldier. 3 seconds for Rob. Now 3 seconds for Erez now. 9 seconds for Johnny Stokes. 6 for Carl. And 3 for Booker Bronco down there in 19th on the grid. And we got Alex here about to get ahead of someone. I think he's fighting it off with Scotty right now. So he's trying to fight it back for 5th position in the race. Does have the Ferrari of Dutchface coming just behind him, so does need to be a bit careful with that. I think everyone's done a pit stop so far, except for Rob Sim Racer there. He's been running from the start of the race, I think, from those hard tires. I think it is, I'm not sure. From what it seems like, that seems to be the case there. Following on with Dutchface right now, he's using everything he has at his disposal, both the ERS and the DRS, and trying to get ahead of Alex here right now. He's going to take it on the inside of the next turn, and let's see if he's able to get that position up. They're going side by side still, but Alex has the inside coming back around and takes back the position away from Dutchface. So keeps the position in P6 for now. That Ferrari is still running just behind of him. They're still fighting side by side and still trying to take that position away. Let's see if he's going to get around though. And going on board with Alex here right now. Let's see how hard he needs to push to try and get ahead. But Dutchface got that position up in the 6th. Unfortunately for him, he's down to 7th in the race at the moment. And that gap is starting to go away just a bit for him. Going down to RP Amazing and Lasso here. Let's see what's happening with these two, because Lasso is about to lose 10th place to RP Amazing if he's not too careful at the moment here, because RP Amazing has gotten up quite quickly to him. He does have RPR Chub just behind of him, and the Mercedes coming as well. So does need to be a bit careful with this overtake if he's going to try it here. Of course, and he loses a car just a bit there, getting off track right now. He's going to try and get back on track, but loses out on that position there now because of that bit of mistake. He's going to get back on track though. Hot Sojo takes over 12. RPR Chuck continues in 11th now, behind Lasso there. We got Erez and Rob Simracer switching positions down in the back here, apparently, because Erez is now on very fresh, hard tires and running. That's Hot Soldier with another penalty there. Let's have a look what's happening out front. RPR Chop chasing after Lasso here right now. He's gotten a gap down to about half a second. He's now trying to get by up into P10 in this race and try and get some points for his team if he can here. Now on lap 15 right now of 27 and going. Looks like he's going to get a decent run down that straight and pushes alongside the outside. Gets ahead. I don't think he does get ahead up into P10. He goes there right now. That's Lasso down to 11. Gap is still pretty close off between the two now, so let's see if there's going to be another switch happening or not. Out in front, GR still leads this race with Team Can now about 4 seconds actually behind of him. Can be touched another 4.8 seconds behind. James Aldo still about half a second behind Can be touched. He's trying to keep the gap as close as he can. Scotty running another 4.8 seconds behind, and Dutch Face there, he's trying to get the position up. Let's have a look what's happening out front at the moment here. So that Ferrari is really trying to push for that position for P5 away from Scotty, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch Scotty in time to get this here. Does have a lot of time left in the race. Unfortunately, that guy Alex is catching up to him there in P7 back again. So keeping a gap under a second he is, and he's going to try and keep the DRS advantage alive. Let's see how well that's going to work for him. So he's using all of his overtake at this point, using a DRS advantage, trying to overtake back off. He's trying to keep the gap under a second as much as he can just to try to keep that advantage alive at this point. I'm going to try and keep an eye on Dutch Face and Scotty here to see if they're going to be doing a switch or not. Of course, we still got James Allen Can be touched out front, still fighting it out for that position there. So got to keep a close eye on them as they continue on through as well. Out in front, James All seems to be getting a much closer gap here right now. And Erez gets another penalty down at the back. So quite a lot of penalties in this race so far. We're going to see how the penalties play out as we get further down with it. Getting on board right now with James. Let's see what exactly is happening with the two of them. It's still a pretty close gap. Half a second it is, and he's having some trouble closing it. And Canby Touch is having some trouble getting out of keeping James out of the DRS range. What's happening down in the back here? I think there's a pit stop with Tommy that's happening here right now. It's causing a bit of a change on the grid. Following on with Alex here right now. Let's see how his gap is working out for him. He's still chasing after Dutch Face, trying to get back 5th position in the race. I think the good side of it, that guy Alex doesn't have any penalties as yet. I will say that. But he doesn't have any penalties so far in the race, which is a good sign. Because that means he's potentially going to be able to get a position or two up in the race when we get to that across the finish line in the next 10 laps time. Because that's really going to save him with that. Because we have quite a few cars with penalties. JR and Team Can out in front don't have any penalties as it is. James All doesn't have any. That guy Alex doesn't have any. Neither does Lasso, RPR Chubb, or Tommy there so far. And Johnny Stokes out of this race so far. I'm not sure if he retired into the pits or that's happened on track. Yeah, Brad, I know about that. I saw when they put the post out about that. Let's get them back out in front. You're having a look, see what's happening exactly with these two. So James is still chasing after Can Be Touched, but this gap doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It still gets they're keeping it under a second as it is here right now, but still having some trouble to close the gap furthermore for James to try and get an overtake done. And that gap seems to be getting a lot closer right now as they went down that straight. So the DRS advantage does really help James All in this case, as close that gap as much as he can. Okay, so on lap 19 of 27 right now, continue on through. Let's see what's happening in the rest of the grid. We got RPR Chubb here in 10th place on the grid. He's chasing after Lasso there for 9th. Has the gap down to about half a second, just under half a second actually. He's trying to keep it as close as he can. Has some DRS advantage. He's going to try and chase him down through down the pit straight, and let's see getting into turn 1 if he's going to have a closer gap. Which he does actually, but still not close enough to get an overtake done, but still pushing as much as he can here right now. So you watch Moser of the BBC side of it. Okay, I see, Brad, I see. Okay, so we're still trying to keep with this gap that we have here between RPR, Chubb, and Lasso. Still getting much closer here right now. Looks like it might be a good chance for him to pull out to the slipstream, and he does. And he's going to try and get the position up here right now. Let's see if he's able to hold it, though, because the Renault of Lasso is going to try and push it back and try to get the position away. Unfortunately, he has to hold off to 10th right now. So RPR finally gets that overtake done up into 10th, now up to 9th place. Sorry, he goes, and it looks like he's going to keep that at least for now. Let's see if Lasso is going to get some advantage from DRS and probably try to get it back though, because he's really pushing to get back alongside that Mercedes there right now, and it looks like that might either end pretty well or pretty badly for him, depending on how much he's actually pushing here right now. But he's pushing through as much as he can, trying to keep the gap as close as he can, hopefully trying to get back the position before the end of the race. We're on lap 20 of 27 right now, so getting very close after the end of the race. So not too many laps left to go, and not a lot of laps left for these guys to try and get the overtake done. We'll see what works out. Getting back out front to James Hall right now, though. See, he's still chasing after Can Be Touching this race. So a few battles have still been ongoing, and they're now going side by side. And James Hall seems like he is taking away third place in the race, puts Can Be Touched down to 4th, and he's finally gotten that position up after quite a few laps of chasing him. So let's see how that's going to work. But Can Be Touched is trying to come back at him here right now, so he's really trying to push back and trying to get a position back if he can. Doesn't seem like it's going too well for his side to try and get it back here right now though, but we're going to keep following on for now and see what's happening. And they're both going into the pits here right now, so a pit stop for both of them. Let's see how that's going to work out with the rest of the grid right now, because we still got Tin Can chasing after GR Lactus, but the gap is so big that I don't think he's going to be able to catch him before the end of the race. There's a 6.4 second gap between GR Lactus and XL Tin Can as it is right now for the lead of the race. And so GR is running pretty comfortably out front, as we can see him here in the Williams. He's running quite comfortably out front. Doesn't have to do another pit stop. The only thing that's going to put a car behind of him at this point is if you have a safety car in this race. So at this point he's running pretty well out front. Tin Can having very hard time catching up with him, running there in second. The only option he has probably is a safety car, or if GR makes some sort of mistakes and spins around the car out in front of him. Dutchface here running in third at the moment in this race, about 11.9 seconds behind in P3 he's in right now. And then we got that guy Alex, he's back up into P4. Once again he's back up in this race and running there in P4 as it is. Of course he has a 3.5 second gap to Dutchface in front of him, and Dutchface has a penalty. Minimum is going to be 3 seconds. All he needs to do at this point is get within a 3 second gap between him and Dutchface, and he's going to get the final podium position at the end of this race if he can actually do that. And let's have a look at the penalty as it is, and it's a 3 second penalty. So all he needs to do right now is try to close that gap as much as he can, and that's going to be him taking away the podium position for the first race of the next new season here with a GP1 division for RPR. So looking pretty good for Alex so far of getting on the podium here, but he does need to close that gap, and doesn't seem to be doing that at this point. The gap seems to be going away from him just a little bit. He needs to keep it coming down and just going below that 3 second, and just get it as low as possible as he can, or probably just force Dutchface into another penalty if possible, but he's not close enough to actually even do that at this point. So let's come back to him and just see how that's working out. We got James Owl here in P6 right now, running in just behind Avi there. Half a second a gap is he have behind the Red Bull, and looks like he might have a pretty good run with him going down the pit straight. Takes it around the outside, and it's going to go ahead up into 5th position in the race. Avi down to 6th here right now, and he's going to try and chase after back James, but I don't think he'll be able to get back that position right away. And Can Be Touched currently down to 7th, running on softs right now. James all on fresh soft tires as well, as both of them went into the pits. They changed on and went into the soft tires. It seems to be working pretty well for them as it is here right now, but so far so good in this race. So guys, once again, everyone who's joined on, thank you guys for joining on the session. And remember you guys, please make sure you guys leave a like on the stream, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're getting right down to the end of this race here right now. Lap 22 of 27, just about 5 laps left to go, and it's going to be quite an interesting 5 laps to see how this is going to work out, because Alex there is now losing a bit more time, and he had a pretty good chance of getting on the podium. He might be losing that unless somehow Dutch Race gets a 6-second penalty, which I don't think is going to happen right anytime soon. But Dutch Race is trying to break his gap down to the car in front, and not having much luck doing that. So we got that guy Alex. He does need to save himself about a second here right now and make sure that he doesn't get a penalty. He might just be able to squeeze himself onto the podium for the race finish here. We got Tommy and RP Mason trying to go side by side here for P10 as it is, and that's Tommy up that position there. I think he's holding on to P10 right now in the Haas, as RP Mason just behind of him in the Alfa Romeo, chasing after him back now, trying to get a position back if he can, but unfortunately might not be able to get that overtake done with. So we're going to continue on in this race so far as it was. Has been quite an interesting race, interesting practice session. We had a quite competitive fight through the qualifying session. There was a full qualifying session, so quite interesting with that one there, especially getting down to qualifying 3 where it started to rain and hampered that session just a little bit, but still was a pretty good session. Can we touch getting the fastest lap right now on those soft tires? We'll see who holds on to that coming down to the end of the race session as we get there, and we're going to have a look at position changes right now to see who might be getting driver of the day on this one. And so far, let's see what's happened. So Scotty's actually lost 11 positions since the start of this race. He's running down there in 14, has not had the best of races for this first race here. And we got Dutch Face there running in P3, has gained the most positions so far. Alex right there where he started the race, James right there where he started, GR and Tin Can switch position from the start of this race so far, and they're running. So it looks like Dutch Race might be getting driver of the day for the race as it is here right now. We'll see how that goes. Of course, Hot Soji there with 6 positions gained as well, but does have a penalty. But so does Dutch Race. We'll see how it works out for them as we get to the end of the race. We're leaving tires back on, and we'll put back penalties back on in just a bit as we get to lap 26 in the race in just a bit as well. But let's see, do we have any more closer gaps to follow here on with right now? Going back to that guy Alex here right now, though, his gap is now 4.3 seconds between him and Dutch Face out in front of him in B3. So I think Dutch Race is going to be pretty happy about that. I think he's pushing as much as he can there right now to try and keep the gap as where it is to make sure that he doesn't lose on that position there. So he definitely wants to cross the line P3 and actually still keep the P3 position at the end of the session. But we'll see how it works for him though, because we still have enough laps left for Alex to try and get that gap down. Unfortunate though, for so far in this race, we've lost 2 drivers so far in the race. We've lost Johnny Stokes there, and we've lost John there as well in the racing points. So 2 Johns lost, still 18 drivers in the race. So still an interesting race going on so far. So still following on with Alex here. Let's see who has a closer gap to work with. Lasso down there in 13, still chasing after Erez right now. Gap is about 1.7 seconds. I'm not sure he's going to be able to getting that up. And we got Avi and Camby Touch switching position. Camby Touch goes up into P6 here right now, ahead of the Red Bull of Avi, and keeps that position for now. I think these 2 switch positions a bit earlier on as well. And can be touched running on those soft tires, so he does have a bit of more of an advantage in terms of getting out in front and getting those overtakes done. But he's going to have to change after James Owl right now, who's about 5.8 seconds ahead of him, running on very fresh tires as well as soft tires. So he's going to probably have a bit of trouble actually doing that bit of catch up. We'll see how that works for him. But so far so good in the races we have. We're on lap 25 of 27 here right now. About to come very down to the end of this race. Has been quite an interesting session so far. I think we've been streaming for about 2 hours 16 minutes so far. Probably will hit about 2 hours and a half by the time, close to about that by the time we get to the end of the session. So thank you guys for everyone who's joined us on for this long in this session here, and to watch on with the race. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the race. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the commentary that came along with it as well, and look forward to the other races that we do have upcoming. Of course, check out what's happening here. out in front. XL Tinkan is, I think he's losing a bit more time. 9.9 seconds right now is the gap between him and GR. So GR still comfortably leading the race out front. Down at the back here is the closest gap we have right now with Carr behind Boca Bronco right now. So let's get on board. And that is Boca Bronco losing the car there. What's happened to his car? Oh, and a bit of contact between him and the racing point. And that's a 5-second penalty for severe collision with that car to Boca Bronco there now. So he loses a position and gets a penalty. I was trying to wonder why Carl stopped, maybe because of the yellow flags. Let's get him back down to Lasso here, who's chasing after Irez there for 12th position in the race as we have it. We're on lap 26 right now. I'm going through. We're going to switch this over to penalties. So you guys can have a look at the penalties and see how the race is going to finish. It doesn't look like Alex is going to be able to finish on the podium here. It looks like he's going to have to take 4th place in the race here. That was a bit chaotic down in the back there. I don't even know why Carl stopped his car and then Boca Bronco just reversed into it. I'm not sure what was going on with the two of them there, but I'm just going to ignore that for the time being. Alright, so guys, so still running on lap 26 right now. We're going to follow over our race leader through the final sector of lap 27. We do get to that point. And Perez has retired from the race. Has he retired on track or has this happened into the pits? I'm not sure as yet. And doesn't look like it's... Where is his car? Down on the side of the track there. I think it is. It's barely visible there, but that's where his car is. So he's out of the race, unfortunately. That's just going to be yellow flag. It's way down in the corner, so I don't think that should be affecting the race in any way in terms of VSCs or whatever, because we're down to lap 26 either way. It doesn't really make any point of finishing the race under a safety car at this point. The car is not in the way. The yellow flags are already over either way, and we're on to the final lap of the French Grand Prix right now with RPR GP1 division. I'm going to finish off here, and GR Lactus in a bit of traffic out front here right now running, but he does have an 11-second gap and running through. Started this race, I think they're in 2nd place, got up to the lead ahead of Tin Can into P1. And he's held that lead for most of the race, I gotta say, coming to this point and going onward. So he's run a pretty good race going on through. Had a pretty good gap between himself and Tin Can down in the second half of the race. I think the first half of the race they had a pretty close gap between them. It was a bit of a battle fighting it off for the lead of the race, but still wasn't really going anywhere too much because he was keeping the lead quite well and not allowing Tin Can to try and get an overtake opportunity at all on him. So still he ran a pretty good race going on through. He's about to get into sector 3 here right now to finish off the final lap of this race. So JR here about to win the very first race for this season. I don't know which season it is. It's probably season 2 or season 3 probably for the league as it is there right now, whichever it is. So he's about to win the first race of the season. They're still about to have to get across the line though. Anything could happen from this point onwards. He could even take that car out of the race. Never know what could possibly happen here. And but yep, should be fine getting through the next few turns and then to get across the line. So has led a majority of the laps on this race here so far. I think at least 90% of the laps he's led, and he's about to go across the line there right now and takes the win for the French Grand Prix. So P1 on the podium for him. We got XL Tin Can here about to go across the line here right now. Has a bit of traffic in front of him as well. Anyway, he goes across the line, takes 2nd place on the podium here right now, and then Dutch Face here coming around with a 3-second penalty, but of course that guy Alex 6 seconds behind of him. So Dutch Face will be able to keep the position here right now. So he's about to go across the line and take 3rd place on the podium here right now. That's P3 for him. And we got that guy Alex is about to come across the line for P4 here right now. And he's going to take that. James All comes across, takes P5. Then we got Canby Touch coming across the line for P6. He's going to keep that as well because a 3-second penalty with Alfie here, who's coming across the line just about now, is going to have to take P7 as it is. And then we got RPR Chubb about to go across the line. Has no penalties here either. He's going to go across and takes P8 on the grid here. Get some points for the race there. We got Hot Sojo coming next. But of course he does have a 15-second penalty. And then we have RP Mason coming behind of him with only a 3-second penalty and a 5.7-second gap. So that's definitely going to have to be probably a switch. Might be a switch happening, but depends on how close. But we do have RP Mason with a penalty, so that might not be a switch happening at all with that. Let's see if there was a switch up. Yep, actually it does switch. So Tommy finishes 9th, Lasso finishes 10th, and we're going to have a look at the full grid as the results come in at the end of the stream here right now, guys. So let's wait on for that to get on. Let's see who had driver of the day on here. So driver of the day, Dutch goes to Dutch Face here, and he gets P3 in the race as well. So on the podium and gets driver of the day for the race. Not too bad of a session for him. Mr. JR taking the win for that one there. Not too bad at all for him. So let's have a look at our final results. So first race for the season here. For this season, current season, we have with GP1 Division RPR League. We have GR Lactus taking the win for the race there for French Grand Prix. We got Tinkan taking second place. We got Dutch Ray finishing in third and gets driver of the day. That guy Alex finishes fourth on the grid. James Al finishes fifth. Can Be Touch will take sixth place on the grid and fastest lap as well for the AlphaTauri. And then Avi there takes seventh place on the grid. RPR Chop takes eighth in the Mercedes. Tommy takes ninth. Lasso takes 10th. RP Macing finishes 11th. Scotty unfortunately has to finish 12th here. Hot Soldier finishes 13th. We got Ires finishes 14th. Rob Simracer takes 15th. Carl takes 16th. Booker Bronco 17th. Perez 18. Johnny Stokes 19. And John there takes 20 on the grid there. I think that's going to be it there, guys, for this session here. So thank you guys very much for everyone who's joined us on for the past 2 hours 23 minutes that I've been streaming here. It has been quite a long stream for about 30-minute practice session to a full qualifying session onto a 50% race. So it has been quite a lot. So thank you guys for everyone who joined on to the session. Guys, please make sure you leave a like on the stream, and please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new on here. Remember, on IG Live Esports here, we do multiple esports races like this during the course of a week. And this race has been live as well on the RPR channel as well. So thank you guys once again for joining on. Do leave a like on the stream. I'll see you guys on the next stream. We do have another stream coming up tomorrow, I think that should be. So I'll see you guys then.